1 in window transport. Or 1300 075 038. Program sponsor. EFL TV is back and better than ever. Head to efl.org.au every Thursday morning to check out the new episode of EFL TV. EFL TV features weekly interviews with players and special guests. The EFL Media Team always discuss all the big issues in the Eastern Football League. And you can get involved by voting for your favourite EFL Player of the Week. EFL TV, live and local for your footy every Thursday morning at efl.org.au.
Good news, boys. It's 20% off to travel on Eastlink on weekends and public holidays with a car tab. So, with the money you'll save, you'll have enough.
Enough for what, Coach?
My birthday present next week, and I have my eye on some sparkly gold footy boots with some pandas on them. Get a breeze tag and use Eastlink, the quickest way to get around Melbourne's East. Arrive fresher, play better. Eastlink, it's time better spent. In sparkly boots.
Program sponsor. For all the latest news and information on the Eastern Football League, make sure you check out our website, www.efl.org.au.
Well, Saturday, it's time for the match of the round. Let's cross to our team and go local for your footy.
And yes, today we are live and local out at Balwyn SEN Park for arguably the most anticipated game of the 2013 EFL season to date. It is Balwyn taking on Vermont, and we're looking forward to bringing you a full call of this one right throughout EFL Gameday. I'm Ben Waterworth. I'll be your host for this afternoon. Got a full team assembled to dissect the daylights out of this one, whether you're listening on 98.1 FM through a very nice phone line or streaming live on efl.org.au. Hope you're enjoying, or hope you will enjoy this broadcast right throughout the day, and we're certainly looking forward to bringing you a full call of this one. Let's introduce the rest of the panel, and let's get started with let's introduce our stats man for the first time today. He's a very, very disappointed Carlton supporter, but let's liven him up with some big stats, and he'll be bringing them all today through Choose Tap, Yarra Valley Water, Be Smart, Choose Tap. It's a good afternoon to Grant Campbell.
Good afternoon, Ben, and what a great game we have here. Balwyn, they're basically leading every category. They've won the most quarters, kicked the most points, conceded the least, haven't conceded 100 points in a game this year. If we look at the quarter-by-quarter records, Balwyn and Vermont actually won the same number of first, second and fourth quarters. The difference is in the third. Balwyn have won 10 compared to Vermont's 5, so that may be a factor in the game today.
We'll hear from you right throughout the term, and as always, just steps up to the plate after a little bit of a mini hiatus, and he's straight into it as well. So looking forward to seeing your work right throughout the day. Also looking forward to hearing some special comments from Braden Ingham. Great job hosting the Freight Partners warm-up, Braden, and good afternoon to you once again as we hear the Balwyn players get nice and motivated behind us. Braden, how do you after listening to both coaches, both Balwyn and Vermont, of course Dan Donati from Balwyn and Chris Barlow from Vermont, are you slightly swayed one way?
Look, I think Vermont's just caught my attention a little bit. I mean, Chris Barlow talks his side down, I think. I mean, he's like, we're just going on the radar. We've got a few injuries, and I think today, we all think they are going on the radar. I think Balwyn in the end are going to be a little bit too strong, but come that probably that fourth term, I think Vermont might just lift. So as you can hear, I'm a little bit unsure, but I just think it's going to be closer than I first thought. But a Balwyn win. It'll
be very close. We hope it's a close game right throughout the day. Now the reserves game is still going at the moment. Normally you'd see most reserves games would have finished up by now, but it's 2:04 and the reserves are still going. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard that's so beautifully and manually put up for us here today by Will Taylor, Balwyn 7-10-52 leading Vermont 18-15-123. So Vermont, the 2012 reserves premiers in Division 1, going about their business very nicely in 2013 and doing a great job over arch rivals Balwyn today. Looking forward to hearing Will Taylor's contribution right throughout the day with Matty van der Arkus. They'll be around the grounds and they'll bring you up to date with all the scores around the Eastern Football League, and you can always make sure that you can get the scores right from the palm of your hand through Twitter at FootyEFL. You can follow us there, or you can follow us through the EFL mobile web app, m.efl.org.au, to get access to all the latest scores and information about the EFL. Let's welcome the frosty one into the special comments chair this afternoon. It's a very good afternoon to Peter Baird.
Good afternoon, Ben Waterworth as well. Fantastic to go through pre-game. Now looking forward to this big clash. Still a minute and a half to go in this reserves game.
Yes, it's a long reserves game.
Oh, there we go.
A minute and a half, more like a half a second in the end, but great timing from you, Frosty Baird, as that is the final score. Vermont 123 defeating Balwyn 52, a 71-point win for Vermont. Time to introduce my partner in crime this afternoon, Ben Warren-Smith, broadcast manager of the EFL, joins me up on the balcony. Always love coming out to SEN Park, BWS.
Good afternoon, Ben Waterworth, and all our Radio Eastern listeners and EFL football lovers. It's sure to be a great game today. Clash of the Titans, you might call it, 1v2 in Division 1. I expect it to be a fast track out here today. It's going to be a fast-paced game, clean skills, the ground's in perfect condition. There's a bumper crowd building out here as well, so it's just we're all set for an absolute epic.
Yeah, there's a few people sort of starting to congregate on the Cherry Road side of things out here. Normally a little bit sparse on that side, but good to see that a few people are congregating, and of course under the mighty Balwyn Football Club rooms. Just repeating, Vermont defeating Balwyn by 71 points in the reserves. Let's have a look at this clash in a little bit more in depth. And Frosty, these two teams are the best two teams in the EFL. No doubt about that. You look at it on paper, you look at the recent results, they both coming in undefeated, particularly from round 3 onwards. So Balwyn's the sexy team, obviously, because they haven't lost the game all season, but Vermont have won 9 straight and coming into this game with just as good a form as what Balwyn do.
I think they're 2 of the 3 best teams in the competition, Ben. I'd put Noble Park in the same category as these 2 sides as well, so it's going to be a ripper contest between 2 quality football teams.
Yeah, there's plenty of young players just as Vermont make their way out into the ground. I'm seeing number 20, Matt Davis, running out for the second time, only his second career senior game. Nick Carradis is wearing the number 53 Guernsey today. He'll have a big influence, I think, as a second ruckman. He'll be giving Simon Taylor plenty of support throughout the day. So we're looking forward to seeing how those guys go about their business, and the mighty Balwyn Footy Club comes out onto the field. And there's not a lot of holes in this Balwyn side, Frosty, when you look at it. They're pretty deep. They bat pretty deep from positions 1 down to 22. Yes.
They do. Renwick Watts out of the team, though, as their number 1 ruckman hurts them, I think. They've got to bring Scott Houghton back in to play that primary role. We saw him exposed a couple of times last year, particularly in the first half of the year. He's not the most mobile of ruckmen, and perhaps a guy like Big Simon Taylor might be able to get on top in that ruck contest around the ground more so than in the ruck actually hit outs.
Well, one man who loves his Balwyn Football Club from the bottom of his heart and is very passionate about how they're going about their business in 2013 is the president of Balwyn and the very flamboyant character that he is, Richard Wilson, joins us. Hello, Richard.
Welcome to SEN Balwyn Park, Benny, and
it looks good. Looks good. Good crowd out here. Must be a very exciting day for the footy club.
Yeah, no, it's a big day. These are the games we love to wake up and know we're playing Vermont and at Balwyn and the community, the local footy club, and everyone gets around it. And just had 140 for lunch with Andrew Newbold, the president of Hawthorn. That was terrific. And also had a chat with Budgie. It's his testimonial year this year, and so Budgie talked about his life after St Kilda and what he's had at Balwyn, and so it's been a terrific day so far for the footy club.
Yeah, Alan Murray been a great servant for Balwyn over the past couple of years. What's it been like, particularly over this season, being the hunted instead of the hunters like you were towards the end of last year?
Well, 11 zip probably says we're going okay, but you are, and every time you go out, everyone wants to have a crack. Everyone builds themselves up for you, so it's no different what clubs we've done with Vermont. But for us, we're actually hunting Vermont. We understand where they are.
Yep.
And that's for us. It's better going out and doing what they want to do to us. But we're really looking forward to it. It's a terrific day. 2 really good teams, and I reckon this is something worth waiting for.
Richard, we know you to step down as Melbourne Victory chairman, and you've got many other interests. How good is it to come out to the footy and just be able to forget about them and just watch your side go about it with all your local mates?
Well, there's the passion, and we had Ange, my Victory coach, down here a couple of weeks ago, and he says, Monday morning at Victory is all about Balwyn. And everyone wants to know what goes on. So it is the passion. It's what community sport's about. It's not a paid gig. You just come out and you want to do it for because you get a lot of pleasure and a lot of passion about your footy club, and that's what every club president hopefully is about, contributing the passion to community football and clubs, and so it's a privilege, really.
Richard, it's Peter Baird here, mate.
Pete.
It would be remiss of me not to ask you. It's a question that everybody wants to ask every time we talk about Balwyn. How are you travelling with 19s at the moment? You're good enough to get a guy like Harry Kuhl to Melbourne Victory. How come you can't get under 19s to the Balwyn Footy Club?
Please. Oh, the forum will answer that one. Yeah, no, it's it's an old adage. It's a tough one, and there's actually not one under-17 team. Just to give you an idea, there's not one under-17 team being played in Burundara, any other clubs with AMO clubs or anything. So it's a very hard situation for the private schools, but we continue to work on it. We've got some creative ideas, and we understand that if we were to get under 19 structure and a sustainable structure here, it would make this club actually even more stronger than what we are at the moment, and it will give us great depth and bring more people into the club. So it's in our own interests to actually find a way. We had the Burundara Hawks, and that was helpful. But if we find a sustainable way of drawing 18-year-olds and 90s into Balwyn, then that's something that we're well and truly up for.
A man in your position, Richard, could just buy one of the local private schools and just make the kid What's Zab's doing?
All the best in your endeavours to get into those private schools, Richard. But it's a big day today. Best of luck for today and for the rest of the season.
Thank you, boys. Good calling.
President of the Balwyn Football Club, Richard Wilson, joining us here on EFL Gameday. Always very, very good with his time and always very excited about his mighty Balwyn Football Club. Gents, we'll cross down boundary side. Let's cross down boundary side right now as well, because we've got Billy Vickers and Gav Casey riding, all thanks to Akira Urgent Care today. Billy, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ben Waterworth. Just as the sun peaks out down here, we're on a very, very fast-looking SEN Park this afternoon. I'll just let you know Rennie Gilchrist has just won the toss for his Balwyn Tigers. Then it's going to be kicking with a pretty strong wind towards the Cherry Road end to your right of your broadcast positions, boys. We're really, really looking forward to this epic clash down here this afternoon. I think it's going to be fantastic.
The excitable one, Billy Vickers, is excited and using plenty of adjectives, and that's always a good sign heading in towards what should be a magnificent game. Let's whip around the panel quickly upstairs and let's get some tips off all the boys. Soupy, starting with you, Grant Campbell, and Choose Tap Stats Chair. Who's going to take this one out?
Well, there's no reason to go against Balwyn, so I'm going for Balwyn.
Frosty?
Balwyn by 5 points.
Braden?
Change my mind, Vermont by 1.
BWS, how do you see this one?
I don't think Balwyn will lose a game for the season, Ben Waterworth. I think this one will go right down to the wire, though. Goal in it, Balwyn up.
I think the date for Balwyn is today. I've got the feeling that Vermont might just catch them a little bit off guard. So looking forward to seeing how this one goes down. We're seeing both clubs just assemble and make their way into positions now. Luke Barker and Blake Broadhurst just assembling their spots. Jeff Goebel's down there as well, rated number 2 in Frosty's top 50 at the start of the year. A quality player. Frosty probably hasn't put the goals through as what he did last year, but he's certainly been having a great impact around centre-half forward. So we're looking forward to seeing how he goes about his business today. Liam Fraser into the side today. He comes in for Jamie Gottliebson. Ryan McMahon, interesting matchup. David Barton, he's been a very impressive player for the Vermont Footy Club since coming in this year. He's got the matchup on McMahon. But umpire Wayne Duke holds the ball off. Them are underway. It's the battle of the big boys in Division 1, and Houghton and Taylor went up in the ruck straight away. No one able to quite take it cleanly. But Taylor Gilchrist gets a quick kick up towards the half-forward line. Thumped away by Johnson, though, for Vermont. Mullet over the runs the football. Schneider tries to work his way through out of half-back. Mullet now works in tandem, and the kick comes out from Lockie Johns. Johns out towards the out towards true centre wing position. Mark taken by Henley on the Cherry Road side of the ground. Henley up towards half-forward, was looking for Emley, but Rod Crow, the ever-reliable Rod Crow, down back, takes a mark. About 50 metres out from his own goal. Left half-back flank. Crow up towards true centre wing. Taylor was in position A. Sport the ball to ground and thumps it over the boundary line. We'll see it tossed back in. True centre wing position. Cherry Road side of the ground.
Well, it looks like Millhouse has gone to Barker, and there's a bit of a push and shove in the back line here at the moment here, Ben.
Well, ball comes out from the clearance now. It's Tim Johnson who works it towards half forward, but Balwyn have the numbers at the back. And here's Taylor Gilchrist, who's off and running. Shares it with Crow. Crow at true centre half back. Switches it towards the fat side. And it's a good mark taken by Goldsack. He goes inboard. They've got plenty of numbers through the middle. Rennie Gilchrist looks for Broadhurst or Barker. Barker couldn't quite get there on the half volley. And Ben Crow made us a little reckless on that occasion. Gave Luke Barker one a little high. And he'll have a shot from goal from the free kick, Luke Barker. Tucked up on the boundary, wrong side for a right footer on the 40-metre arc.
Attacked the ball very, very well there on the lead, Luke Barker. Kept it in front of him, kept his head over the ball, and that's what drew the free kick there. A little bit of an overzealous bump there from Ben Crow.
Millhouse on Barker, as I mentioned, it's going to be a key matchup today. If it stays like that, I don't know if it will, because Millhouse is key off off half-back. But, look, Barker, you're going to have to contain him today.
23 goals in 3 weeks, Luke Barker. He's hot to trot from 40 metres out. Luke Barker, what a start for the Tigers. And he's picking up his old ways, giving it to the crowd like we saw him at Noble Park a couple of weeks ago. And he's off to a great start here. Barker with his first and Balwyn with their first. They're 1 straight 6. Vermont yet to score. We've played just over 2 minutes on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
That's something that Balwyn like to do early in games, is get that ascendancy very early on and let teams know that they're the premier team in the competition. And that's the way they've looked already. And Rod Crowe across half-back, he's been instrumental in just being able to zone off, read the play and set up almost like that quarterback.
Good start to the Tigers. Ball back in the middle. Taylor got that knocked down really easily. No one really comes after it. Ball at the back of the half-back line for Vermont. They'll get the clearing kick now through Davis. He had to balk one and then went up towards the centre-half forward position. Nicely trapped that time there by Ellis. Swings around on the left boot. It was a scrambly kick. He was out in front there of Van Noonan. He traps it, gets boot to ball, just goes straight up in the air and straight out of bounds on the full. Good pressure by the Tigers' backs there. And it'll be Balwyn from the back pocket. Arms in San Filippo. So just waiting for options. Called to play on now. Kicks it up towards the half-back line. Charging out there was Goebbels. Couldn't quite get a handle on it. Right on his hammer was Ben Crowe, and we'll have a boundary throw-in.
Watched a fair bit of Ben Crowe back in the DVDs. Normally finds himself up 4, but he's down back on Jeff Goebbels today. Big matchup.
Umpire throws it back in. Taylor got the front spot. He's winning the tap-outs early on hands and knees. That was Gilchrist. Got a handball away. Going in hard. There was Harris. Copped one a little bit high, and the umpire said it'll be his free kick. So just across the half-back line on the edge of the centre square, Harris. No one really stood on the man on the mark, and he kicked it up towards the half-forward line. Chopping across there was Mendes. Couldn't quite handle it, but he had some support there in Schneider. He was gang-tackled. Scrambled a kick over the boundary line, and we'll have another throw-in.
A big key matchup out there, as expected. Marco Regan's gone straight to Ryan Mullett as well. I reckon Mullett would be having nightmares knowing he's playing against Balwyn today.
Free kick has been plucked out to Goebbels, so he takes off now. Gets a handball over the top. That was okay. Taylor Gilchrist up towards the half-forward line. The kick wasn't too crash shot. Rushed over for another boundary throw-in.
Your Mullett would back himself in, though, Frosty. He's got an enormous tank. You'd think he'd be able to run off O'Regan, but it'd be a hard matchup.
Marco Regan's got a very good record on Ryan Mullett.
He does.
So Houghton got the front spot this time. Schneider was first to meet it. He was wrapped up in a tackle, and we'll have a ball up.
Grant Campbell, some early stats that matter thanks to Choose Tap.
Balwyn have already taken 2 intercept marks, so Vermont need to kick better into the forward line.
Ball across the half-forward line now for Balwyn. Can they pick it up? Somehow scrambled a kick. Oh, it went to no one. Picked up there by Davis. Got the handball away, and now the Vermont are going forward.
Davis's kick was a bit of a grubber off the boot, but it ends up in the hands of Wilson. He'll wheel onto his left foot and go up towards the half-forward line. The kick is very nice from Ryan Wilson. He hits Henley on the chest. In fact, it's Emley up towards the full forward area. It might bounce all the way through. Mullet's there. He's taken O'Regan to the goal square, and Goldsack's happy to rush it over for a minus score. So Vermont hit the scoreboard for the first time on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. They're one behind. Balwyn 1 straight 6. 5 minutes gone, first term. So Tigers will bring it in from the defensive goal square. It's Taylor Gilchrist who just kicks the kick and goes to brother Rennie, who marks at half-back. Rennie Gilchrist now with a hand pass to Crowe. The Crow's hand pass just a little too hot for Rennie Gilchrist on that occasion. Might prove costly. Van Noonan gets a hand pass off to Schneider. Kyle Emley, hand pass inboard towards Lockie Johns. Was he pushed in the back?
Oh,
he was. Back. And Lockie Johns, this week's Leader Young Gun nomination, Lockie Johns, after a ripping performance last week, will receive the free kick for a push in the back. 45-degree angle, about 30 metres out, but you'd back him in from here.
Well, it was just the pressure there from Vermont. They contained the ball. It was a poor turnover from Balwyn. They messed around a little bit in the back line, and in the end, they just ganged up and probably lucky to get the free kick in the end. I mean, it was certainly in the back, but Balwyn probably shouldn't have been in that situation in the first place.
Taking a big step up in 2013, Lockie Johns. As I said, Leader Young Gun nomination this week. Comes in, looks okay off the boot. It squeezes in, and Vermont get the quick reply, and they take the lead here at SEN Park. 1-1-7 Vermont. Balwyn 1 straight 6. 6 minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Will Taylor working beautifully in the manual scoreboard today.
Well, good start here from, I'd say, both sides. It looked early. I mean, Vermont going in, they just need to be careful. As Grant Campbell mentioned, a couple of times they've gone inside, intercepted, just need to be a little bit more careful with it, but pretty intense start from both sides.
So the ball's back in the middle of the ground. It goes up now. Carradus is moved into the ruck now. Comes out towards the Mullet direction. He got a little paddle on it. Ball and get the handball squeezed out towards the Alice direction. Again, they're doing it by foot. Paddling it along. San Filippo, he wanted the boundary line in the end, and he finally got it. It went from the middle of the centre square, Braden Ingram, by paddling to the boundary line. So a restart to come now. Going up in the ruck there is Turner. He got the knockdown. Barden's come in. He's in there, as is Turner, and we'll have another ball up.
Frosty, do you expect Millhouse to stay on Barker all game? I think it's just an early matchup to see how things go.
Luke Barker's very quick on the lead as well, and that's something Dean Millhouse is very, very good at. I think they're trying to expose Barker and try and get Millhouse to zone off him, but I'm not sure if it's going to work.
Well, Taylor Gilchrist was the third man up. He got the knockdown. It comes up towards the full forward line. Barker had to beat two. It's fisted away from him. Ellis on the left boot got a little shimmy of a kick. In fact, it was Tim Johnson. The ball bounces askew. True centre wing position here. Here comes Rod Crow. Managed to trap the ball. Managed to break a tackle too. Got a handball back. The umpire said advantage paid as he copped one high. Now the Tigers will work their way in through the middle of the ground. Oh, great tackle there by Van Noonan. He got pinged too. Mullet wants to go on with it. He wanted advantage. The handball goes inside forward 50. He had the run there of Galeno. He has to trap it, paddling it to his own advantage. Can he get boot to ball? The boundary line beats all players. And no, in fact, it was allowed to stay in. The umpire called it, and it's eventually still with Galeno. Tries to get boot to ball. McMahon came through, and eventually it goes over for a boundary throw.
San Philippi was just dawdling out of the back line, almost cost his team a goal, trying to move it quickly, which I like from Vermont, but probably needed to just hold it up and look for an option inside 50.
So Vermont, they lead it by 1 point. It's deep in their forward line. Pye throws it in out at the back of the pack. Henley, the snap-on goal there, but that was Mendes. He couldn't quite get boot to ball. Barden goes backwards to go forwards. That was clever. Wilson on the left boot. He tries to bring it around. It was touched off the boot and goes through for one behind. So the second blemish of the afternoon to the Vermont Football Club. They currently lead it by 2 points. 1-2-8 plays one straight 6 ball.
Crow brought it in, but it was an ordinary kick off the boot, and Davidson takes the mark at right half forward flank. Balwyn zone is set up at the moment, so there's no easy option, so he might just have to go towards the top of the goal square. He goes by hand, in fact, to Ellis. He loves his position, Andrew Ellis, towards the top of the goal square, drifts left at the final stage and through for another minus score for Vermont. So the Eagles are peppering early. Good signs here for them. 1-3-9 Vermont, Balwyn 1 straight 6, and we've played just over 8.5 minutes on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Well, the kick comes out towards the Murray direction. He flies and pulls down a strong mark too. Fantastic bit of play. They want to keep the ball moving. The kick goes up towards the half-forward line. It was a bit of a floater, but it landed in Goble's arms. Got down low. He might even back himself from here. It's only a 45-metre kick from where he'll go from. And it's a favourite spot of his too. And he saw his mate put one through only moments ago. So he'll go for Balwyn's second goal.
Geez, we saw the use of the corridor in their run there, Benny Waterworth. They used the ball sensationally and straight down into the forward line.
So Jeff Goebbels. He's kicked 29 goals for the season. He'll kick from about 45 metres out, comes in now. Distance won't be a problem. Neither will the accuracy. Straight over the goal umpire's head for Balwyn's second goal of the afternoon. And they peg back the lead too. They are 2 straight 12 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Vermont are 1-3-9.
And look, I mean, we mentioned the way they're using it at the moment. Vermont have probably got to send them out towards the wings because there's a couple of occasions now Balwyn have been able to bring it out of their back line. And it's not a massive ground. As we said, only 40-metre arcs here at SEN Park. So at the moment, Vermont have just got to probably force them a little bit wider because you can't allow Balwyn to use the corridor when they've got players like Goebbels and Barker are going to be on the end of it.
Grant Campbell, some early stats that matter thanks to Choose Tap.
Inside 50s, 5-4 in favour of Vermont.
Tregear will get the clearance on this occasion, tries to paddle it towards half forward. Davis and McCarthy work it out in the end. McCarthy's hand pass a little too hot for Davis though. McMahon tries to paddle it forward. Chris Barden met in a big solid tackle there. Schneider good in a tough situation there. Got a hand pass over the top towards Barry Murphy, and he's got a bit of space here now, Xavier Barry Murphy. His kick was just way too short in the end, and Churgwin cut it off. And Churgwin marks and plays on quickly. Goebbels marks, true centre wing position on the broadcast side. That was a poor hand pass, but unfortunate for that man in Tim Johnson in the end.
It's got to be on the full.
I reckon that handball landed at his feet, and I reckon that was kicked off the ground on the full, went over the boundary line. But
Dan Donati's not happy, that's for sure.
No, that probably should have been a boundary throw. Nonetheless, it's tossed back in now.
It's a big throw.
Over the head of Ben Turner. He tries to pick it up cleanly. Tregear arrives at the back for support. Kenner goes back to go forwards, and he's got his good mate in Ryan McMahon. McMahon normally a good user by foot. That's no exception. Kick up towards Broadhurst. Stumped away by Waller, though. And Schneider again is at the back of the pack. He uses the 1-2 with Tim Johnson. He's got Waller working the telephone box at left half back. Barden will be happy to see this one over the boundary line and out of bounds, Braden Ingram.
At the moment, Balwyn just seem to have a lot more time to use the footy, whereas Vermont seem rushed. They can't seem to get any clean possession going. And out the back of packs, Balwyn have just got space and time to find a target.
Umpire throws it back in, just in front of the Balwyn coaching box. Turner got the tap down there, looking for Harris. Both teams wrap each other up. We'll see another ball up.
Something they're doing very, very well already, Balwyn, is they're guarding space very well and corralling Vermont, which is limiting their run that we like to see them normally try and do.
Umpire Jared Reid tosses the ball up. Half-forward flank here for the Tigers. The Eagles will get the numbers at the back of the pack. Lockie Johns' kick. Oh, I don't know if that was for touch or if it's for Goebbels or for McCarthy. Nonetheless, it ends up with Goebbels. He's got the ball at the half-forward flank. Smart ball inside to Rennie Gilchrist. He marks 55 metres out from goal. Not much angle to deal with. Rennie just calls for calm as Vermont have got plenty numbers back. He might be able to even make the distance here, Rennie, because he's a big kick. And he's inside the centre square, but as Braden mentioned before, it's a small ground here at Balwyn Park. So Rennie Gilchrist, the inspirational skipper of the side, only played the 9 games this year due to a knee injury. He goes towards the top of the goal square. Barker will fly from behind, brings the ball to ground, and Vermont are happy to thump that through for a minor score. Balwyn's first minor score, they're 2-1-13. Vermont 1-3-9. 12.5 minutes gone. First term, Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
So it'll be Dean Millhouse to bring it in for the Eagles. He's got players out wide. It was a beautiful kick too. He found it straight into the arms of Davidson. He got dispossessed. Now Balwyn might get away with this one. The umpire's going to bring it back, and it's a free kick to the Tigers.
Just can't break the lines with any run at the moment, Vermont. Balwyn are doing very, very well in getting numbers back and limiting their space.
Well, Murray's screaming for it in the middle of the ground. Just taking their time. They might elect to go backwards here. They do. Now they'll go back towards the half-forward line. The kick was intended out there for Harris, who went straight over his head and out of bounds on the full. So the half-back line, Tim Johnson, will have it for Vermont. They'll have another chance to reload. They currently trail by 4 points. Gone 13.5 minutes in this first term, EFL Gameday. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. It is the clash of the Titans, the big boys, 1v2 in Division 1. The kick finally goes up towards the half-forward line. Big fly over the back by Sanfilippo, and he pulls it down too. So a ripper mark. We've seen a couple of them early in this term by Balwyn. So Sanfilippo, the short option is on. It was a good kick too. Finds his teammate in Harris, gets down low but pulled it in. So true centre wing position here. Harris on the left boot. He'll go short. Finds his teammate out there in O'Regan. He's going to play on. He'll go once again. They're trying to switch the play, and then they'll come back through the corridor you would expect. The kick goes out wide. Now the split is on. Running in space is Armstrong. Pulls the mark down. He'll get called to play on here. Kick into the middle of the ground, looking for the big man in Horton, and goes straight through his arms. But he's got support there. Here's Harris on the left boot. He's got clean skills. Kicks it across the face. Now the run of Hendry. He'll have the ball. He's been quiet so far in this first term, but he kicks it up towards the half-forward line. It was a bit of a scrambly kick. Breaking one tackle there was Tregear. Got the handball over. Murray's got to trap it now. He was dispossessed. Vermont might get out of danger here. The kick that comes out now, and McCarthy on the left boot gets it out of that danger zone, and he'll want the safety of the boundary line, and the bounce was favourable for him too, and over she goes.
With the amount of possession Balwyn have had, they're probably a little bit disappointed they haven't made more of impact on the scoreboard here, Frosty.
Yeah, I mean, just a general run of play. They look like the superior team at the moment. Just need to really put some scoreboard pressure on Vermont.
Once again, a monster throw in by the boundary umpire. Comes out towards the Murray direction now. He has to break a tackle. He did it on one leg, got the handball back. The kick goes inside forward 50 now for Balwyn. Floating, and over she goes for a boundary throw in about 35 metres out.
Grant Campbell, some stats that matter thanks to Choose Tap.
Vermont arguably guilty of over handballing. They've just had the 19 kicks and 25 handballs compared to Balwyn with 30 kicks and 20 handballs.
The umpire throws it in once again over everybody's head. A harsh tackle there by Matt Davis. Nearly gave one in the back. The umpire said it was fair, so we'll have a ball up just inside the 40-metre arc. And Balwyn's end. Umpire throws it up now. Barker goes up in the ruck. Big fly over the top there by Mullet. Got a fist on it. That was okay. Scrambly kick out, and eventually goes out of bounds on the full by Xavier Barry Murphy. And now once again Balwyn will get the chance to go inside the 40-metre zone again. So Tregear wants to play on. Balked one, then kicked the ball inside forward 50. He went to absolutely no one. There was two Vermont players there, and it will be Lachlan Johnson clear from the half-back line.
It's an interesting kick from Johns. It's a beautiful kick, though, in the end. It works nicely for Van Unen. Finds himself at half-back. Van Unen streams through the middle of Balwyn Park. He put Tim Johnson under enormous pressure. Lucky enough to get a hand pass away in the end, but it's all the Tigers who'll mop up at the back, and they're off and running on the outer side. Sanfilippo, if he can gather, he's in business. He spears the ball inside 50 towards Barker. On one bounce, grabbed it cleanly. Barker wheels around towards the top of the goal square. Hogle marks on the third bite. Nice work, Jaden Hogle. Beautiful delivery from Luke Barker, and Hogle will go back and look to put through Balwyn's third.
That's why they're such a good team, Benny. Lukey Barker had every right to line up. He'd broken the tackle, got around his man from 40, could have had the shot, and decided, no, I've got a man in board. He takes the mark and lines up direct in front, 20 in and out. That's why they're such a good side. Jaden
Hogle, 15 goals for 2013 ever since crossing over from Scoresby. It's from directly in front, 20 metres out. Hogle makes no mistake and puts through Balwyn's third. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, we've played just over 16 and a half minutes in this opening term, and Balwyn 3-1-19 lead Vermont 1-3-9 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
You talk there, Braden, about why they're such a good team, but I was really, really impressed then with the run and dash of Christian Sanfilippo off half back there. He's just able to break lines. His pace there is really worrying Vermont, just being able to carve them up coming off that half back line.
Let's cross down boundary side. Thanks to Akira Urgent Care, Gav Casey.
Yeah, just monitoring the rotations. Balwyn have used the bench 15 times with Vermont 12, and we're only halfway through the quarter. And Rennie Gilchrist is looking a bit ginger. He just hobbled off, so I'm not sure what's going on, but he doesn't look too sore.
Great to have Gav Casey back on EFL Game Day. The umpire throws it up. Tregear was the next man up. He got the knockdown straight into the arms of Murray. Went backwards, put his teammate under a lot of pressure. Charging through there was Wilson. Also charging through was Taylor Gilchrist. Bangs it on his boot now. It was half smothered, so it's going to bounce over and over and over. She goes for a boundary throw-in right near that Balwyn faithful and interchange area.
Around the grounds, interesting contest. The Pinks Reserve, Ferntree Gully dominating, but can't hit the scoreboard despite a 3-4 goal breeze. And Glenmorley Hawks lead Heathmont by 3 points.
Pye brings the ball back in now. Houghton will go up against Taylor. Ball comes down to Wilson. Somehow got booted. Ball comes out towards the Snyder direction. He might lay a shepherd for Johns to go on with it. Lachlan Johns charges up towards the half-forward line, kicks it towards the true centre half-forward position, looking for Justin Van Noonan, who it creates a foot race. Goldsack will be the first man to get there. Got the handball back. The Tigers are doing this well from that half-back line, and guess who? Across that half-forward line, Harris again takes a mark on the left boot. He's got Tregear all alone. If he can spot him up, he might elect to go for the longer option. Goes to the Barker direction now. Works his way to the front. Well done, Dean Millhouse. Had poise, had strength, and knocked it over the boundary line for a throw-in.
I reckon Balwyn would be happy with that Dean Millhouse Luke Barker matchup, because it means Millhouse doesn't create off half back.
Oh, you're absolutely right then, Ben. But it's the poise and the way they're able to create space for each other with Broadhurst leading up, leaving space in front of Barker.
McMahon trapped it from the throwing, went a long way back, but it might work out okay too. The ball goes inside forward 50. The big man Taylor dropped it, what he should have taken, but they've got the mop up, they've got the spoils, and here's Nathan Henley on the right boot now, kicks it out towards the wing position. It was a beautifully weighted kick too. Finds the arms of Shane Davidson. He's got a turn of speed, doesn't he? He takes off. He has one bounce. He nearly got tackled. He nearly went too far. Kicks it up towards the half-forward line. It was a scrambly kick and a bit of a letdown there.
As Sanfilippo marks the true centre half back, and he goes looking for Murray on the outer side. Murray lost his footing, might prove costly. Mendez picks it up for the Eagles. The left foot spearing ball inside forward 50. Was looking for Van Noonan. Bumped off the football though. Allows Goldsack to pick it up in the back pocket. Goldsack under a lot of pressure. Just got a hand pass away. And he tries to paddle it forward another 5-10 metres. Players converge on the football now. O'Regan's under that pack as you would expect. And umpire Jared Reid says, give it to me, gentlemen. We'll see a ball up 40 metres out, right half forward flank for the Eagles.
Grant, I'm interested in the inside 50s. Are they fairly tight or in Balwyn's favour?
12-6 now in favour of Balwyn.
As Mendez tries to work his way through, just dropped the ball in the end, did Daniel Mendez, as he was under a lot of pressure from the Balwyn defence. That man, Sanfilippo, laying the tackle. Gives it off to Kenner, and his kick out wide finds Crow. Moves it on quickly, Rod Crow, and finds Armstrong. Half-back flank. He goes up towards the centre wing. Yobles and Hendry fly for the same football, and making a good decision to stay down on that occasion was Barry Murphy. Handball inboard to Henley. Had no one for support in the end. Might prove costly. Taylor Gilchrist's kick, looking for his coach, Dan Donati. Unfortunately, he's not a player.
He said he wanted to play.
And it goes over the boundary line and out of bounds on the full. Balwyn 3-1-19, Vermont 1-3-9. Bendigo Bank scoreboard. We've played 20 minutes here in this opening term. Up towards half forward go the Eagles. Davidson had a bit of the footy early. Gets a hand pass off to Ellis, working along the boundary line. Left foot in ball inside the forward 40. Goldsack again. He's having a season to die for at the moment, Jared Goldsack. And he started this game well. Beautiful kick out wide to Murray. He marks uncontested. Up towards half forward. Big lead there from Broadhurst, and he juggles a nice mark there on the outer side. He'll look to move this one on quickly, Blake Broadhurst. Inboard towards Milhusen, but over his head. Taylor drops his second mark inside defensive 40. Might prove costly. Eagles will be happy to lock this one up for a ball up 40 metres out from goal. 21 minutes gone, Bendigo Bank scoreboard. We'll bring you up to date with all the around the ground scores right throughout the day.
Johnny Muirhills and letting Taylor know all about it as well.
Umpire Wayne Duke throws it up. Sanfilippo came as the third man. Beautiful tap down towards McMahon. The left foot ball from Ryan McMahon is just off to the left-hand side and through for a minor score. But Balwyn have had all the play in the past 10 minutes. Balwyn 3-2-20. Vermont 1-3-9. 21 and a half minutes gone. Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Gav Casey, thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Just an update on Rennie Gilchrist. He's looked a bit proppy on his right knee. That was his trouble area, if I'm not wrong. It's been re-strapped just under the kneecap.
So Dean Millhouse to bring the ball back in. 11 points is the margin. Vermont would love to get a goal late in time on. The kick goes into the true centre of the ground. It was fisted away that time. Murray's getting into it in this back half of this first quarter. Got the handball away to Goldsack. He got it out to Churgwin. He'll go back to Goldsack. He'll go back to Churgwin. You would think the ball has to sit up for him now. On the left boot, kicks it up towards the half forward line. It went to nobody though. And this man, Matty Davis, he's been putting his body on the line across the half back line for Vermont early in this term. They've seen a bit of the ball down there. So Davis, a neat kick up towards the wing position, looking for McCarthy. Dropped what he should have taken. Got the handball back to Henley. Bangs it on his boot, but nobody was home except for Ben Turner, and he'll be able to reload now for Balwyn, and they'll create the switch. Taylor Gilchrist is in the middle if they want to go to him. Instead, they'll go for the longer option. Schneider at the back. He gets a bit of a step ladder and takes a ripper mark too, and he'll get a 25-metre penalty for a bit of back chat there, I believe.
No, it was a bit of holding after he took the mark. Charlie Hendry didn't quite let Schneider go after he took the mark, so might prove costly.
Tiggy Touchwood, Schneider. He's a super player. You'd expect him to have a shot from here.
At the moment, this looks like the only way they're going to score. I mean, whenever they go inside 50, they're just turning it over, or even with his handball.
He gets the handball away to Mullen, who can definitely kick the distance, but he put himself under a lot of pressure and kicked it to the forward pocket. The ball will stay in. Henley on the left boot. Oh, the umpire said it was out of bounds, and we'll have a boundary throwing right next to that right forward, right behind post, and the umpire brings it right back in now. Turner will go up in the ruck. Over the top there, Sanfilippo fisted it away, got it towards the Hendry direction. He went backwards. In there is Crow. Left foot kick out towards the Murray direction. He nearly pulled in a one-hander, a bit of a slips catch. In comes Mullen. Murray got up. He bounced up. Fantastic bit of play there by the veteran. Gets a handball out wide. Now in a series of handballs. They get it to Gilchrist. They get it over the top there. Oh, great tackle on that man in Fraser by that Matt Davis, who we mentioned only moments ago. And we'll have a ball up. True centre wing position out here. We've gone 23 and a half minutes. Grant Campbell, some choose tap stats.
Hit out 16-6 in favour of Balwyn.
Umpire throws it up now. Barton will see it over the boundary line and over.
Interesting stats, Sue, because both ruckmen out, both number one ruckmen out. So Scotty Houghton must be having a good time on the ruck with Ben Turner.
The umpire throws it back in now. Schneider at the fall of the ball. Got a little handball across to Davidson. Put himself into traffic. That was interesting. Handball out wide. Went to nobody. Murray came in to lend some support for Balwyn. Got the handball away. It's a little bit slow motion as Steve Kenner gets a handball back to Murray, who goes inside to Turner. He balks one. Gets a handball over the top. Series of handballs. Sees Balwyn now across the half forward line. They'll go inside. Barker allows the lead on the left boot though. The kick goes surging forward. It might even go through. And a sensational goal has been kicked by Tregear on the left boot, charging in from 40 metres out. Fantastic play there by Balwyn, and, well, they did it easy there, Peter Baird.
Oh, just the class in being able to link up via hand there, putting Ben Harris into space, found Shane Tregear on the end of it, and that damaging left boot's one of the best in the Division 1 you'll ever see, and had no problems from deep in that forward pocket, about 45 metres out.
Tregear with goal number 14 for 2013. He's the quintessential goal-kicking midfielder. One of the most damaging left boots in Division 1 as umpire Gerard Reid brings it down. Beautiful tap back down to Tregear. Uses that left foot once again. Just a little bit too hot for Goebbels on this occasion. Goebbels will be happy to see this one over the boundary line and out of bounds. Left forward pocket, but it's all Balwyn at the moment. 26, they lead. Vermont 9. We've played 25 minutes. Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Boundary throwing will occur in the left forward pocket. Turner and Taylor to go at it. Give that one to Taylor. Try to tap it towards the teammate's advantage. Hendry just roved the pack beautifully. The banana around the body from Hendry's just off to the right-hand side and through for a minus score. So Balwyn certainly peppering in this first term. 4-3-27. Vermont 1-3-9. 25 and a half gone. Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Millhouse, as always, to bring the ball back in. Mullet was screaming for it. Elects to go towards the Taylor direction. It was probably the smart option. Pack forms out there. Taylor's in there. So too is Nathan Henley. He's going to get pinged for throwing here. Came in to lend some support to Tregear. I can't believe the umpire let that one go. Alice is in there on hands and knees. Stevie Kenner as well. They might pay advantage here. They'd be crazy not to. It's the definition of it. Kick inside 50 to go, Bulls. Good play.
That's a bad decision by the umpire. All the players had stopped. The player was out by 20, 25 metres and he finally decided to pay advantage. You've got to call it straight away or bring it back.
Well, it's definitely advantage. I'm going to go with the umpire there. Stevie Kenner got the handball straight out, so they were willing to go on with it. So Jeff Goebbels has already kicked one this afternoon on the other side of the ground. He'll come in now. About 38 metres he will kick. He's taking his time, measured in his approach. Sets sail for goal, keeps the ball low, keeps the ball straight. That is a super kick. He loved it from the moment that it hit his boot. Second goal to go, Bulls, and 5 on the board now to Balwyn on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. They lead 5-3-33, Vermont 1-3-9.
Frosty, I think they maybe have to move Millhouse out of that full-back position because they need someone off half-back who's going to act as a bit of a field marshal at the moment, because coming off half-back, they're butchering the footy.
Yeah, well, they've got a couple of players out of the side that might normally have filled that role. They might have thought about Travis Bird, but he's not out there today. So KB is just basically playing the cards as he's got what he's got in his hand at the moment. And Millhouse, they're really missing his run and carry off half-back.
Tigers lead this one by 24 points, and we're only nearly towards the end of the first quarter. Beautiful courage there from Ellis. Won a hard footy, then it's bombed it inside forward 50. Need a bit of luck here to the Eagles, but it's all Balwyn who are just so organised down back at the moment. Kenner kicks for touch, and he finds touch 50 to 60 metres out from his own defensive goal. Make sure you stay tuned after the quarter-time break, as we'll have all the around-the-ground scores. So make sure you keep your radio dial and his stream connected to EFL Gameday. As Mendes tries to clear from the stoppage, had his kick smothered, and in turn we'll see a secondary ball up. Grant Campbell, some stats that matter thanks to Tuesday.
Just the kick count, very one-sided, 57 to 33 in favour of Balwyn.
Tigers have much more of the footy so far in this term. Houghton, been a big reason behind that, getting plenty of hit-outs thanks to Tues tap. As umpire Jared Reid pulling out a free kick here. I'm not sure which way it's going yet. He's just reasoning with Balwyn. Looks like Houghton, and 25 metres as well. So I thought he was going to pull out a card, Jared, in the end, but he hasn't. So after a bit of confusion, not 100% sure why, but Scotty Houghton's been paid 25 metres against, and we'll see a Vermont free kick. Looks like it's going to Mendes.
Yes.
So Mendes, right in the quarter-time siren. Must kick goal for the Eagles. Mendes on the left boot. Looks a little to the near side. It's through for a minor score. That would have been very, very handy. But on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard at quarter time, it's Balwyn 5-3-33. Vermont 1-4-10. 23 points is the lead, Frosty Baird.
It's just probably lucky for Scott Houghton's sake that goal didn't go through, because I could see steam coming out of Daniel Donati's ears there as he started to walk onto the ground then, and the big sigh of relief, and almost I could read the words on his mouth there saying, "You're lucky, big fellow, that he missed that goal."
You look from the quietest siren in the EFL, it knocks to the loudest siren here at Balwyn Park. You certainly know when it's half-time and quarter-time, and it is quarter-time here on EFL Gameday. We'll come back with all the around-the-ground scores right after this here on EFL Gameday.
Had an accident on the field? Head straight to Ikira Urgent Care for immediate medical treatment, and you won't have to wait. For a maximum of $75, we'll treat your broken bones, sprains, strains, cuts, or any other game day injury. Walk in at 157 Scoresby Road, Baronia, or call us on 9839 3333. That's 9839 3333. Ikira Urgent Care. We have you off the sidelines in no time. Station sponsor.
For all things EFL, The Huddle. Good evening, Eastern Football League lovers.
One of the punishments is you've got to get spray tan the Friday night before a game.
Oh, nice.
Wash all the jumpers, and of course he is Glenn Archer, and welcome to the program tonight. G'day, Glenn.
G'day, guys. How you going?
If it was up to Dino, he's winning the league BNF, our BNF. How much longer we've got to see Stewie Wine going around in the Eastern Football League?
Probably about 1 quarter.
6 p.m. every Wednesday on 98.1 Radio Eastern. Radio Eastern 98.1. It's 16-3. Barry Krantz back here in the studio at half-time between our big games, Division 1, Balwyn and Vermont. We'll be back there very shortly. Let's, in the meantime, check some AFL scores, and the game today will be up there in Canberra at Star Track Stadiums between GWS and the Western Bulldogs. It's currently the 20-minute mark of the second quarter, and it's a very close game indeed. The GWS 5-5-35 lead the Western Bulldogs 5-4-34. And goal kickers for WS is O'Halpin has 1, Shield 1, Smith 1, Whitfield 1, and Cameron 1. And for the Western Bulldogs, all single goal kickers, Steve Smith, Hart, Dixon, Dowhouse, and Jones. And the other game underway this afternoon is at Etihad Stadium in North Melbourne and Richmond. And it's the end of the first quarter. It's North Melbourne 3-3-21. Leading Richmond 2-2-14. And goal kickers for North Melbourne. And Bastianak has 2, Tarrant 1. The major goal kickers for North Melbourne. For Richmond, Wallace, Jackson, have one each. And the game this afternoon, and later on, is the twilight game at 4:40 p.m. up at Gabba. It's the Q game, Q6, Brisbane versus Gold Coast.
Desperately need budget-friendly windows? Visit T&B Discount Window Warehouse, who'll have the right solution for you. T&B has new and surplus windows to suit any budget needs, and you'll still have spare change to finish off your renovation. Visit T&B's new Superstore, Unit 4, 116 to 118 Canterbury Road in Kilsyth. T&B Discount Window Warehouse, part of the EAL and AW Window Transport Group, your number one in window transport.
Or 1300 075 038.
Program sponsor.
EFL TV is back and better than ever. Head to efl.org.au every Thursday morning to check out the new episode of EFL. EFL TV features weekly interviews with players and special guests. The EFL Media Team always discuss all the big issues in the Eastern Football League. And you can get involved by voting for your favourite EFL Player of the Week. EFL TV, live and local for your footy every Thursday morning at efl.org.au.
Good news, boys. It's 20% off to travel on Eastlink on weekends and public holidays with a car tab. So, with the money you'll save, you'll have enough.
Enough for what, Coach?
My birthday present next week, and I have my eye on some sparkly gold footy boots with some pandas on them. Get a breeze tag and use Eastlink, the quickest way to get around Melbourne's East. Arrive fresher, play better. Eastlink, it's time better spent. In sparkly boots.
Program sponsor.
For the best EFL rap on radio, don't miss Akira EFL Sunday from 10 till 12 every Sunday morning, 98.1 Radio East. Ben Warren Smith and the team bring you all the final scores, goal kickers, best players and ladders following a big round of EFL football. The gang also talk to winning coaches, players and special guests, bringing you the final scores from all seniors, reserves and under-19s matches. Akira EFL Sunday, going live and local for your footy from 10 every Sunday on 98.1 Radio East. For all the latest news and information on the Eastern Football League, make sure you check out our website, www.efl.org.au.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local. Your footy.
Yes, we're live and local today from Balwyn SEN Park, and at quarter time it's Balwyn 5-3-33, leading Vermont 1-4-10. Plenty of scores going on around other EFL games. Knox 2-3-15 trail East Burwood 4 straight 24. Lilydale 26 lead South Croydon 25. Blackburn 22 lead Scoresby 9. Norwood 20 lead East Ringwood 15, and Noble Park 29 lead Roval 14. In Division 2, Bayswater, what a start by them, 41. They lead Waverley 19. Upper Ferntree Gully 26. Trail Mooroolbark 35. Still in Division 2, Mulgrave 20. Lead Donvale 9. And North Ringwood thumping Doncaster East at the moment 40-14. So we'll keep you up to date with all those scores around EFL games. Riley Beveridge out at Kilsyth today. Kilsyth zip. Ferntree Gully 1-6-12. So it looks like a bit of a scrappy encounter out there at Pink's Reserve today. While we're waiting for our Key Urgent Care boundary riders, Grant Campbell, some stats that matter thanks to Choose Tap.
What really impressed me that quarter by Balwyn was their pressure, noted by the effective tackle count of 18-12. They're also able to create space for themselves, winning the uncontested possessions 59-36. The hitouts, they won 17-12. They were using the third man up tactic on a number of occasions very effectively, and the inside 50s, they won that 16-9.
Let's go down boundary side. Thanks to Akira Urgent Care, boys.
Thanks, Ben. I'm down here on the boundary with Chris Barlow. Chris, probably not the first quarter that you were looking for. What are the keys to get back into this match?
Oh, look, we just got to get the hands on the footy, you know. I think they had a bit more intent, they had a bit more purpose. When we had the footy, they really made us rush. Just need to get back to level footing and get the ball in the hands and maybe slow it down and just get a bit of tempo back our way.
Some of your really gun players are getting shut down a little bit and taken out of the game. Are you going to make any moves at the start of this second quarter?
No, look, we're going with the same plan that we had at the start of the game, and we'll run that till half time and sort of reassess then. But we want to have a look at how some certain players go in certain situations, and at the moment, they're not coping. So, that's what footy is, though. You get the opportunity to try and turn it around. So, looking forward to the start of this.
You've got the win for the second quarter. Good luck.
Great work, Billy Vickers. Here's Ben Warren-Smith on EFL Gameday.
Second quarter underway. Houghton got the knockdown straight through Mendez's hands. It comes out towards that player in McMahon on the left boot. Drives the ball inside forward 50 for the Tigers. Knocked away. Mendez got back down to that half back line. Got the handle on the ball. Mullet came in to lend some support. Got the handball out wide towards Crow. Now Vermont get it out of that danger zone. Kick goes thumped up towards the wing position. In the front spot there at ground level was McCarthy. Couldn't quite handle the ball. Once again, Balwyn will get out of this with numbers, you would think. Mendez after the pill again got gang tackled, nearly got pinged as well. The umpire will come in and bounce it. True centre wing position. Let's cross down boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care to Gav Casey.
Thanks, Ben. It was Dan Donati at Balwyn was very happy, especially around the stoppages, having 21 tackles, and they were going with the wind. His only problem going forward was that some of his midfielders were getting ahead of the ball, and especially this quarter not to do that. And coming into the wind, if they can just break even in the stoppages, and also then going forward, just make sure they hit up that important pass going forward.
23 points is the margin. Comes out towards Harris across the half forward line. Picked up there by O'Regan. Thumps the ball inside forward 50. Charging out there is Barker. He arches the back. He breaks the tackle. He kicks from 40 metres out to the top of the goal square. Who's going to fly? The ball's going to just fall in the end, and Fraser in position A will have a shot on goal from only about 20 metres out, Peter Baird.
It's just such disciplined play then from Ball, and what they do is they kick to space. They know a player's going to be leading into it, and Liam Fraser then just knew that that's where the kick was going to, was able to find himself all alone there, take the easiest of chest marks.
Well, he's kicked 3 goals this season. You'd expect this to be 4, and he shanks it straight off to the left-hand side for a minor score. So as we cross the second minute in this second quarter, on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, Balwyn lead it by 4 straight goals, 5-4-34, Vermont 1-4-10.
Around, I'll bring you some other scores now. Park Orchards trail South Belgrove by 7, Forest Hill by 11 over Canterbury, and Nunawading by 7 over Coldstream, Peter Baird. Interesting scoreline there. As the ball comes out now for the Tigers, they're going to send this one back inside forward 50. Sanfilippo towards left half forward. Fraser was hoping for a free kick against Barton on that occasion, but stumped over the boundary line and out of bounds. It'll be tossed back in 40 metres out from Balwyn's goal. They're kicking towards the Whitehorse road end of SEN Park. This term are the Tigers, as umpire Jared Reid just hovers around and hoping that players are able to feed this one out, but they can't. And we'll see a ball up 40 metres out from Balwyn's goal, left half forward flank. Hope you're enjoying the call on EFL.org.au and 98.1 FM. As we'll probably see another ball up as Harris is tackled there by Mullet and Schneider. More scores coming in. Particularly in Division 3 at the moment. Boronia 29, lead Whitehorse 7. And this is an interesting one. Warrandyte 32, lead Wanturna South 23. Churnside Park 20, Trail, Templestowe 25, and Doncaster 21, lead Ringwood 15. We'll keep you up to date with all the scores right around EFL grounds throughout the day. Umpire Jared Reid will ball this one up again for about the 4th time in about a minute. As Carradus tries to tap it down towards Johns' advantage, but he's not able to break free, and we'll see another stoppage 40 metres out from Balwyn's goal. Plenty of new players going around for Vermont today. Nick Carradus has only played, this is only his 2nd game. Adrian Galino only his 2nd game for the season, and Matt Davis has featured pretty prominently in that first term. Balwyn at the back here will look to try and bring this one out, but it's a free kick going against the Tigers for holding the ball, and it will go the way of the Eagles. Speaking of Davis, here he is. He runs through the middle of Balwyn Park, and he uses up plenty of players in Wilson now. He goes out towards the half-forward flank. Henley got a very unkind bounce for the Eagles. Landed in the hands of Kenner. He goes over the top to Harris. We're now with Fraser. His hand pass further afield worked out okay for Goebbels. At half-forward, Goebbels chips inside 50, and Broadhurst marks on the chest. And looks like the umpire didn't pay 15 metres, I think, on that occasion, and Broadhurst ran over the boundary line. So we'll see it tossed back in, right half forward flank, 40 metres out from goal.
That was stiff.
So boundary umpire will throw it in. Davis went up in the ruck against Fraser on that occasion too. Definitely not traditional ruckman. Very high thump forward by the Eagles towards Henley's advantage, but McMahon puts his head over the 40. No surprise to see Ryan McMahon in that position up at the half forward flank. And we'll see another stoppage, about probably the 8th in a 2-minute period at the moment. Speaking of stoppages and stats, Grant Campbell, some early stats that matter thanks to Choose Tap.
Yeah, more tackles than kicks so far this quarter, 5 apiece.
Johns from the stoppage. Dangerous kick. His kick from the back pocket towards true centre half back was pretty ordinary in the end. It set up Goebbels beautifully, and he marks almost 40 metres out, almost directly in front, and you look to put through his 3rd for the day.
just too strong then. Jeff Goebbels in the marking contest, able to reach up over the top of the pack, but that was a pressure kick, and to put it into the hot spot there, that's just poor decision making, something that KB is going to have to work on with his team.
Arguably the worst place on a footy field to turn it over is true centre half back, and Goebbels marks from that error, and he'll kick for his third. The kick looks dead eye straight from Jeff Goebbels, and he puts it through for his third, and it is all Balwyn at SEN Park this afternoon. On the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, we've played 5.5 minutes, and it's Balwyn 6-4-40, leading Vermont 1-4-10.
Well, that's a coach killer if ever you've seen one. I mean, trying to transfer the play when you can't even get it going forward properly and trying to switch it inside your own defensive 50 is honestly stupid. They're really struggling to move the ball at the moment. They're getting to a certain point about to the centre of the ground, a little bit forward of Vermont, and they just can't seem to hit targets or find the appropriate option at the moment. KB's going to have to make some adjustments if he can, because they can't get anything going.
This game really has the potential to blow wide open, doesn't it, as they go surging forward again. That time it was Gilchrist in there across the half-forward line, picking it up and getting gang-tackled across that half-forward. Oh, free kick has been paid. Too high. So against Mullet that was. I think it was Mullet. So they'll have another shot on goal from about centre-half forward once again, and it'll be Rennie Gilchrist, the skipper. He's got a short option on. Players, that's undisciplined play by the Vermont backs. There was about 3 options inside forward 50 then for Balwyn. They've got the mark about 35 metres out.
They're just rattled at the moment, the Vermont side there. They're not picking up their men in defence. They're all pointing and trying to say, well, that's your man there. You need to be filling that space then, instead of taking it on themselves to actually do it themselves.
So Armstrong will come in from 40 metres, puts boot to ball now, pushes it across the face of goal. It might not even make it in the end. Over she goes for a rush behind. So on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, Balwyn 6-5-41, lead Vermont 1-4-10. We've gone 8 minutes in the second term.
The Eagles will bring it out from half-back. It's a good kick on this occasion. Finds the skipper and Mullet just drives up towards half-forward, looking for Van Eunen. Goldsack was standing in the way. Did well to control it over the boundary line and out of bounds, because it was a bit of a shank from Mullet's boot. Grant Campbell, some stats that matter thanks to Choose Tap.
Inside 50s this quarter, 5-0 in favour of Balwyn, and marks inside 50 for the match, 5-0 in favour of Balwyn.
Tigers all over it in this second term. They have been throughout the first half already. Taylor, beautiful thump down, but straight to a Balwyn opponent in McMahon, but that went straight to a Vermont opponent in Barson. Barson got a hand pass over the top to Davis, looks up towards half-forward, but every time Vermont go towards half-forward line, there always seems to be an extra Balwyn player back there. This time the ball trickles over the boundary line. It'll be tossed back in right in front of Dan Donati in the Balwyn coaching box. See it tossed back in now. There's Turner and Carradis go at it. Turner got it down towards Alan Murray. Murray's hand pass, looking for Turner again, but Barden is brought to ground, and we'll see a ball up. Let's go to Braden Ingram.
Just quickly around the grounds, the Basin 7-3-45, leading Mitcham 2-3-15 at quarter time. I can't believe that score.
We're about to cross to Maddie Van Der Arkus for around the ground scores, so we'll cross to her very shortly as Vermont through Mullet go inside 50, but again another Balwyn number back spare in defence. This time it's Tregear who finds himself back at half back. He up towards the wing position now. Good strong mark taken by Armstrong. Crow's off and running. Stopped in his tracks though by Emily, and he just uses his time and composure to find Goebbels, who's been everywhere in this first half.
He's been super.
He loves Vermont, Jeff Goebbels. He played one of the games of his life against Vermont last year's grand final. He started this game in superb touch. He goes up towards half-forward, thumped over the boundary line and out of bounds. Maddie Van Der Arkus for the first time. Let's go around the grounds in Division 1.
Alrighty guys, Division 1 we have East Burwood leading Knox by 9 at quarter time. We've got South Croydon trailing Lilydale by 1. Blackburn leading Scoresby by 13. East Ringwood trailing Norwood by 5. And Noble Park's got the upper hand over Roval by 15 points.
Let's go, while we've got you, let's go to Division 2.
Alrighty, so we've got Bayswater got the upper hand, as we heard before, over the Waverley Blues by 22 points. Upper Fentrick Gully trailing Murrelbach by 9. Mulgrave leading Donvale by 11. And North Ringwood got the upper hand over Doncaster East by 26 points.
Great work, Maddie, as Kenner and Harris work in tandem on the other wing. Mulehausen's hand pass almost chopped off by Mullet. Wasn't able to quite grab it cleanly. He goes in again, Mullet. His opponent O'Regan's in there with Armstrong. Barden tried to work through a telephone box. He had plenty of time to dispose of that football, Chris Barden, but he received a high tackle. And umpire Jared Reid will pay the free kick against Alamea on that occasion. And Chris Barden, the 2009 Chandler medalist, has got the ball in true centre wing position.
So Barden, generally very cleanly skilled, Kicks it up towards the half-forward line. He'll go to the Taylor direction. It's Tiger Central down there. Tregear over the back of the pack. Left it for Crow. He goes backwards now. This is Goldsack. Squeezes one out towards Harris. He was hot to trot, but he had good talk by Goldsack, who receives a handball back now. They'll have to go out the far side. This is Crow. Gets a handball. And again in a series of handballs. Harris gets it back to Kenner. Gets it back to Crow. Handball back there to Sanfilippo. Handball to Crow. He'll balk one. He'll handball across to the half-back line there to Tregear, who handballs it to Kenner. They might stuff this up. Sanfilippo handballs over the top. That's about 15 in a row. Johnny Milhusen comes in and goes, that's enough of this, boys. He thumps it 55 metres up towards the half-forward line, but standing strong, Dean Millhouse takes it for the Eagles. He's got Wilson all alone in the middle of the ground if he wants to use him. Instead he goes for the switch across the ground. Probably the better option too. So Vermont just need to slow things down a little bit here. This is Barton. Goes backwards to go forwards. Through the middle of the ground there is Crow. Dumps the ball on boot, goes up towards the McCarthy direction, but it goes towards the ball and Crow. He might let this one trickle over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Maddie, sorry, some Division 3 scores.
Of course. We have Glen Waverley leading Heathmont by 3 points at quarter time. Churnside Park trailing Templestowe by 5. Doncaster leading Ringwood by 6 points. Baronia got the upper hand over Whitehorse by 22. Mitcham trailing the Basin by 30 points. And we have Warrandyte leading Wanturna South by 9.
Well, Gilchrist took it from the stoppage. He kicked it up towards the half-forward line. He was looking for his teammate in Broadhurst, but it was chopped off there by Millhouse. So
that's a better matchup, sorry, Benny. And Millhouse has now gone to Broadhurst. I think that works a bit better for Vermont.
Goes to Barton. Again, the switch is on. So doing it the slow way across the half-back line are the Vermont Football Club. They might get a little bit of a run here because all by himself there is Lachlan Johns across the half-back line. Squeezes a kick somehow, but to absolutely nobody. Was really in position A for Taylor Gilchrist, who got handle on the ball. Now Balwyn surge forward across the half-forward line. Murray screaming forward across half-forward. He was ignored. They go backwards to go forwards. Here the kick inside by Armstrong. It was looking for Goebbels. He couldn't quite pull it down in there as Barker. Millhouse comes out to tuck the ball for the Eagles, and he gets it away to Barton, and he takes a nice clean mark. He probably could have gone on with it as well. It was a lazy kick, went straight into Armstrong's arms. He was clever enough to get the handball away. A little bit of a throw there. They got away with it. Gilchrist goes out wide to Goebbels. He'll thump it from 45. He'll thump it long, and he'll push it to the right-hand side very far, and it goes out of bounds on the full Peterbed.
It's just something I've noticed at the moment. The Vermont tackles aren't sticking. The ball players are able to stand up in the tackle and still dish off, and that's why they're able to still link up even when they're under pressure.
Oh dear, the kick's been chopped off by Taylor Gilchrist. He probably could have had a ping there. Goes to the pocket looking for Goebbels. Millhouse will mop things up and rush it over for a boundary throw-in.
Maddie, Division 4 scores.
Alrighty, we have South Belgrave leading Park Orchards by 7 at quarter time. Forest Hill leading Canterbury by 11. Coldstream trailing Nunawading by 7. And Keelside, scoreless in that first quarter, trailing French Gully by 12.
So Vermont are hoping for a free kick for a high tackle on Davidson on that occasion. They got it. Balwyn fans certainly won't happy about it. Vermont will take it though. Davis up towards half forward. Look, there's 3 Balwyn players at the fall of this football, and they'll shepherd for each other and work it out nicely. Tregear tries to break through the pack. It's a beautiful hand pass inboard to Fraser. Fraser's hospital hand pass on that occasion, looking for Taylor Gilchrist. Works out okay for McMahon. He uses the ball well. The kick just a little too strong for Alan Murray on that occasion. He wraps it up. McMahon gets it back. Ryan McMahon towards goal. Beautiful kick from the champion, and McMahon puts it through for his first of the day and his 16th for the 2013 season. Shooter McMahon puts through Balwyn 7th. 7-5-47. Vermont 1-4-10 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. We've played 13 minutes.
Finally able to use an option there. I mean, they've had plenty of chances here, Balwyn, and they've probably overused the footy. A lot of handballing when they haven't needed to. A couple of missed kicks, but I mean, that doesn't say. I mean, Vermont are out of this game. They need to find a way working, because anything they do, no matter if you go long or try and run a play on it, isn't working.
Ball back in the middle of the ground. Taylor went early, got the knockdown. That was okay, but it'll be Balwyn to get the clearance. Harris goes to Gilchrist of the Rennie variety. Thumps the ball inside forward 50. It's a one-on-one situation. Goebbels was the target. Millhouse goes after it as well. Little handball away. That was okay. Schneider goes backwards to go forwards. The Eagles will get themselves out of trouble because Johns has found some space across the half-back line. Handballs over the top to Davidson. He'll be hot. He needs to get a handball away. Galeno just didn't even tell him anyone was there, and it's right near that Balwyn faithful, and they want a free kick, but the umpire said not to be. We'll throw this one up, boys.
If I was KB, I'd be sending the runner out to Ryan Mullett right now and asking for a head count, because there are so many Balwyn players that are loose at the moment. They must have an extra player on the ground.
It looks that way, doesn't it? The umpire throws it up. No one went after it. Murray comes in and we'll have another ball up.
Grant Campbell, some stats that matter thanks to Choose Tap.
Yeah, Balwyn have over handballed a bit this quarter. They've had the 24 kicks and 36 handballs. Compare that to the first quarter when they had 57 kicks and 42 handballs.
I reckon they had 20 of those handballs in one passage of play, though, Grant Campbell.
Yeah, I think they were looking for the world record, and they may well have got it.
So the umpire brings the ball back in now. Houghton was getting all over Taylor. The umpire said play on. Little handball over the top by Gilchrist. Got it to his brother in Taylor. Handball across to the half-forward line. This is Churgwin. He might set sail for goal from 40 metres out. He pushes it just to the right-hand side. One behind, and that really got the crowd going on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Balwyn lead 7-6-48. Vermont still that one goal, 1-4-10.
It's all starting at the stoppages. Balwyn have got players sitting out the back and no one's going to them. I mean, a couple of occasions, Rennie Gilchrist. Why is Rennie Gilchrist sitting out the back of packed unmarked? He's one of the best players in the comp. Go to him.
The kick goes up towards the mullet direction and he takes a strong mark, and if they ever needed a captain's goal, Peter Baird, this is the time right now. He'll kick from 35 metres out.
Well, they just need to stop something of this ball and run they've been able to get at the moment, and they've had Grant Campbell to tell me 11-2 inside 50s this quarter, so Vermont just haven't had an opportunity to get the ball down there. If ever they need their captain to stand up and deliver for them, it's right now.
So Ryan Mullett, he knows the importance of this kick to keep his side in this match. Comes from 35 metres out. It's a beautiful kick. He weighted it nicely with the breeze. Second goal on the board to Vermont, but they still trail by over 5 goals. The Tigers 7-6-48 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Vermont 2-4-16.
Now, he's the champion player of our competition, Ryan Mullen. He's stand up and he has delivered there for them. They just need to try and string a few goals together at the moment because they're being outclassed all over
away from him, so hopefully he gets pushed one stepper though.
You'd expect him to come out a little bit. Van Newton now swings around. That's a beautiful kick. He's kicked it straight through the middle. Vermont have 2 in a minute, and that is their third on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 3-4-22. They're trailing by 26 points. Balwyn 7-6-48. We've gone 20 minutes in this second term.
Now the challenge for Vermont is to try and string another couple together. They've done well to kick a couple in a row. If they can get another couple before half-time, it narrows the gap back to a manageable deficit at half-time.
I think
Braden.
the focus is not getting scored against now. You've kicked 2, you've just changed the momentum a little bit. Rather than focusing on kicking goals, I mean, if you can, great, but you've got to make sure you still contain ball because they're killing you out of the clearances and the ball's going forward immediately. That's where you have to stop.
So the ball's back in the middle of the ground again. Knocked down there by Taylor. Charging through was Rennie Gilchrist. Got the little handball out to Charlie Hendry. On hands and knees, get the handball backwards. Squeezed a kick there was Fraser up to the half-forward line. The ball's just going to fall. Oh, I think Millhouse might have copped one in the knee to the face then. The play goes on though. Stevie Kenner into the pocket looking for Goebbels. It was knocked away from him. He's going to receive a free kick though. He copped one on his way down and he'll get the chance to get the quick answer.
This is exactly what Balwyn didn't want, Braden Ingram. You just spoke about it. They didn't want Balwyn to run it down the other end of the ground and score themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is where they've just punished them. Wherever Vermont have looked to have any spark. And I think Chris Barlow, look, I really hope he gives them a spray at half-time because their accountability for their man, their run, it just hasn't been there at all. And look, we've played, 18, 19 minutes in the second term. They've really got to run out. So at least Chris Barlow can give them some sort of positivity going into the second half.
So Goebbels has kicked 3 already this afternoon. He'll come in from 40 metres. Tight angle, kicks strong, kicks hard at the ball, but pushes it to the right-hand side. Minor score is the result. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard at the 21-minute mark, Balwyn 7-7-49, Vermont a 3-4-22. Let's cross down boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Yeah, boys, just Braden, if you wanted a spray, he's already given one. He was extremely livid at quarter time, and he absolutely gave it to him. He said it was the worst football he's ever seen, so watch out at half-time as well, boys.
So Millhouse will bring it out from the goal square towards the middle of the ground. Taylor went up, got hands to ball, but Rennie Gilchrist at the fall of it. Taylor did well to follow up his own ball and kicked it up towards the half-forward. Here's a one-on-one contest that we needed. Van Newton brought the ball to ground. Can Galeno get dangerous? Oh, too clever on that occasion was Christian Sanfilippo. Got a little hand pass out wide towards Churgwin. Mullett, though, tries to extract the football from this contest. He'll be happy to see that over the boundary line and out of bounds. Probably the first one-on-one contest, genuine one-on-one contest we've seen as Vermont were able to get it over the Balwyn press. But it's gone over the boundary line and out of bounds here. Be thrown in, true settling position. Taylor Brought it to the ground, beautifully down to Mullet, who's just starting to get his hands on the football, the champion, up towards Henley at half forward. Van Unen's at the fall of it, wanting to try and get his involved in the contest. Van Unen still going, almost a free kick to the Tigers for a push in the back on that occasion. Umpire said no, that was umpire Wayne Duke, and we'll see a ball up 50 metres out from Vermont's goal.
Even their intensity at the contest needs to live Vermont. They're getting led to the ball even in their own forward line. The Vermont defenders are really making the play.
Ellis, good hand pass over the top to Barry Murphy. That's good to Davidson as well. That was surely 15.
It was
umpire said play on. Davidson, smart play there from the young man, and he found Barry Murphy about 30 metres out directly in front. Must kick goal for the young X-Man.
Good composure shown there. The play on was called. They still find a target inside 50 in Murphy. That's all they've got to do. They've been rushed all day, and finally just a bit of composure inside 50 and chance to string three together.
This for Vermont's third goal in a row. Xavier Barry Murphy, leader young gun nominee last year, comes in, looks right off the boot, and it stays right and it's through for a minus score for the Vermont Eagles. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 22 minutes gone. Wayne Brasher shaking his head. Vermont 3-5-23, Balwyn 7-7-49.
They're their own worst enemy, aren't they, Vermont? They get these opportunities and they just can't put it on the board.
That's what happens when you're down in confidence. Things start to unravel at the seams, and that's what's happening for Vermont.
So Stevie Kenner on the trusty left foot kick out towards the Crow direction. It wasn't touched, so out of bounds on the full. So Vermont will get another chance to get a goal in time on. Half forward line, the kick's going to be popped up towards the Taylor direction. He's the high flyer. Van Unen's head two over the back. Henley at the fall. The ball picked up by Gilchrist. He's gang tackled, and the umpire will come in and bounce it. Good bit of play there by Shane Davidson to keep that ball in the offensive 40 arc. So 24 minutes have gone here in this second term. Umpire throws it up now. Big fist away that time there by O'Regan. Goes out towards the direction of Wilson. He couldn't quite trap the ball. Umpire says it's gone over and out, so we'll have a boundary throw in.
Just a lot of Vermont's key ball winners at the moment. Frosty, they're quiet. Schneider hasn't had a lot of impact. Mullet's starting to work into his game, but they need a bit of a lift from those players.
They certainly do. And this is the other one. I'm watching Daniel Mendez trying to pick up Rennie Gilchrist. He's giving him too much leeway at stoppages.
The kick goes up towards the top of the goal square. Standing in position, Big Crow takes the mark. So there was no one there to help Van Unen on that occasion. Crow goes short to Stevie Kenner. Goes back. He's got Murray all alone across centre half back if he wants to use him. Goes short and uses him now. Out wide is Tregear. So they're just running down the clock, it would seem, Balwyn, in these last few moments.
Tempo football, trying to get the ascendancy back from Vermont at the moment.
Short options on. They had Murray in there too. Standing in front there was Churgwin. Copped one on his way through by Galeno and 25 metres.
He hardly touched him, Frosty.
No, that's completely unnecessary. Not in the marking contest. He's played hands in the middle of his back after he's marked. That's 25 every day of the week.
Yeah, I tend to agree, Pete. Fraser goes up towards the half forward line. It was a very neat kick too. It comes out towards Broadhurst. Snaps around the body now. Kicks it to the hot spot. Top of the goal square. Out the back there, Goebbels. Down there also too. Lending some support is Crow on hands and knees. Got it out to Wilson. Back to Crow. Kick was half smothered and it goes over the boundary line and for a throw in right hand side about 40 metres out from the Balwyn goal line.
We talk about the tempo footy that Balwyn are playing. Vermont aren't allowed to play that. They've tried to on many occasions this quarter, and Balwyn simply won't allow it, and that's why the pressure is so intense.
Rucks go at it over the top. Waller got the knockdown. Quick kick up towards the 25 metre zone for Balwyn. They've got players everywhere. They've still got numbers. Cam came out that time there to O'Regan. Got gang tackled and will have a ball up about 40 metres out from goal on the other side of the ground now. Grandstand side.
Doncaster East have come back kicking in with the win in the second term. 5 points down against North Ringwood, and the Glen Waverley Hawks trail by 5 points against Heathmont.
So the umpire throws it up. Taylor's in there. So is Crow. Somehow squeezed a kick out towards the half forward line, getting down low and taking a ripper mark there was Taylor Gilchrist. He's not afraid to get the ball moving, kicks it across the face of goal. The wind got held of that, but they've still got numbers though. Swing around on the left boot inside forward 50 towards the Goebbels direction. Taylor thumps it over the back. Scramble kick by O'Regan, might have gone all the way. 3-5-23.
Mullet brings it into Waller in the back pocket. Waller took one step and he was off and might prove costly. Gets it back to Mullet with a rush kick towards the wing position. Turner dropped the mark, but it's spilled nicely for Tregear. Tregear, how far has he run? Well, it won't matter in the end because he was gang tackled without disposing of the ball properly. And Mullet picks it up for Vermont. Dangerous handball though straight to Mendez. Was he pushing the back? He was. So Mendez has got the free kick on the true centre wing position here now. He'll look to move it on quickly. Van Unen's one-on-one with Goldsack. Milhusen arrives at the right point of time and thumps it over the boundary line and out of bounds. And pretty boy Charlie Hendry sees it over. We'll see it tossed back in 40 metres out from goal.
It's really important Vermont score from this. There's less than a minute to go in the quarter here, so about 50 seconds to go. Need to get a clearance and a goal here.
Important stoppage here for the Eagles. What can they do? McMahon just barrages his way through, holds the ball up. And we'll see another stoppage about the 40-metre arc here at SEN Park. Make sure you stay tuned for Billy Vickers and the Pie Shed halftime show coming up.
I'm excited.
Billy will have all the around the ground scores. Connor Ryan going to help us out as well. So looking forward to that as ball still back in the forward 50-metre arc here for the Eagles, and we'll see a third stoppage. Balwyn will be happy to run the clock down and just see this margin stay at 27 points. Umpire Wayne Duke throws it up now. Henley tries to advance it another 10 metres. Milhusen came and attacked it. Barden lays a tackle. And they've advanced it another 5 metres, Vermont, but that won't be good enough because they're running out of time here in this second term. And the loudest siren in the EFL signals the halftime break here on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Balwyn 7-8-50, Vermont 3-5-23 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Goal kickers 3 to Goebbels, 1 to McMahon, Tregear, Hogle and Barker. And for Vermont, 1 to Van Union, 1 to Mullet and 1 to Lachlan Johns. That has been EFL Game Day for the first half here between Balwyn and Vermont. But don't go anywhere because after the break, it'll be Billy Vickers with the Pie Shed halftime show. And he'll go through all the around the ground scores and have a chat to Connor Ryan about how this game's been going. And Will and Matty will be helping out as well. Don't go anywhere because coming up to the break, it's the Pie Shed halftime show right here on EFL Game Day.
Good news, boys. It's 20% off to travel on Eastlink on weekends and public holidays with a car tab. So, with the money you'll save, you'll have enough.
Enough for what, Coach?
My birthday present next week, and I have my eye on some sparkly gold footy boots with some pandas on them. Get a freeze tag and use Eastlink, the quickest way to get around Melbourne's East. Arrive fresher, play better. Eastlink, it's time better spent. In sparkly boots.
Program sponsor. Own a smartphone and love the Eastern Football League? The EFL mobile web app is a must. Go to m.efl.org.au to access fixtures, results and ladders for all EFL. You can also receive live around-the-ground scores every Saturday afternoon, right from the park, and contribute to the mighty EFL forum while you're online. Download the EFL mobile web app, go live and local for your footy this season, right from the palm of your hand.
Radio East at 98.1, currently 15 degrees in Melbourne's outer east at 18 after 3. It's Barry Cott's back here in the studio, and we'll get back to the Pie Shed halftime show in just a moment. But let's check some AFL scores, and the game GWS versus the Western Bulldogs at Star Trek Stadium in Canberra this afternoon. It's half-time. It's about to get underway for the third quarter. Very close game indeed, and it's GWS. North Melbourne, Tarrant has 4, Ashton 2, also 1 Black, also 1 to also has 1, and for Richmond, Alice, Jackson, 1 each.
I'd rather not
so
have this
this afternoon at 4:40 p.m. It's a game up together between Brisbane and Gold Coast, and we'll scores of that when the game is underway a little bit later on afternoon.
Desperately need budget-friendly windows? Visit T&B Discount Window Warehouse, who'll have the right solution for you. T&B has new and surplus windows to suit any budget needs, and you'll still have spare change to finish off your renovation. Visit T&B's new Superstore, Unit 4, 116 to 118 Canterbury Road in Kilsyth. T&B Discount Window Warehouse, part of the EAL and AW Window Transport Group, your number one in window transport.
Or 1300 075 038.
Program sponsor.
For all things EFL, The Huddle.
Good evening, Eastern Football League lovers. One of the punishments is you've got to get a spray tan the Friday night before a game.
Oh, nice.
Wash all the jumpers. And, of course, he is Glenn Archer. And welcome to the program tonight. G'day, Glenn.
G'day, guys. How you going?
He was up to Dino. He's winning the league, DNF, our DNF. How much longer we've got to see Stewie Wine going around in the Eastern Football League?
Probably about 1 quarter. 6 p.m. every Wednesday on 98.1 Radio Eastern.
It can be difficult booking an appointment with your GP when you need medical care urgently. But at Akira Urgent Care, Australia's first walk-in medical and emergency clinic, you don't need an appointment and you don't have to wait. Walk in at 157 Scoresby Road, Buronia, or call us on 9839 3333. That's 9839 3333. Akira Urgent Care. We'll have you off the sidelines in no time. Station sponsor.
For all the latest news and information on the Eastern Football League, make sure you check out our website, www.efl.org.au.
Saturday's game day continues. Let's head back and go local. Your footy.
In Whitehorse 3-1-19, Mitcham 8-10-58 take the lead over the Basin 7-4-46, so 6 goals to none third quarter, and one turn south 8-11-59 leading Warrandyte 5-5-35.
Thank you very much again, Will Taylor. That was our Division 3 scores coming to you. Of course, our halftime show this afternoon is courtesy of the Pie Shed. The Pie Shed pies are absolutely delicious, combining fresh meats and vegetables with just the right combination of herbs and spices. With over 40 variety of pies, the Pie Shed has a reputation second to none, everyone. See Mark and the team at 295 Canterbury Road, Bayswater, or call 97207711 and get the best pies in the business. Mr. Will Taylor, let's go through the second division in the EFL this afternoon. Some fantastic games happening around the grounds. Let's go Division 2.
Yeah, Bayswater 7-9-51 to the Waverley Blues 7-6-48. So the Waverley Blues kicked 4 goals to 1 in the second quarter. Mooroolbark 7-7-49 up at Ferntree Gully 7-3-45.
That's a bit of a surprise.
So 4-point lead there to Mooroolbark. Mulgrave 6-4-40. Donvale 3-4-22. So Mulgrave in the lead there. And a 5 goals to 1 second quarter. Of course, Doncaster East were kicking with the win in the second quarter. They trail now against North Ringwood by 5 points, 7-3-45 Doncaster East, 7-8-50 North Ringwood.
Very nice, and of course, last and always our biggest Premier Division in the EFL. We're going to go through our Division 1 scores. Of course, we are coming to you live from SEN Park. It's the Balwyn Tigers here leading. But Will, let's take us through the Premier League. What's happening around the grounds?
Yeah, Noble Park, 6-7-43, leading Roval 5-5-35, so
no
an 8
surprise
point
there,
lead.
yep.
Norwood 5-4-34 to East Ring with 3-6-24. Blackburn 7-7-49 to Scoresby 5-6-36. South Croydon 9-6-60, leading Lilydale 5-5-35, so 25 point lead to the Bulldogs. East Burwood, they're on fire at the moment, 6-2-38, Knox 2-7-19, so 19 point lead for East Burwood, going for 2 in a row. And of course the radio game, it is 7-8-50 Balwyn to Vermont 3-5-23.
Fantastic work from you, Will Taylor, and as always, Matty Vantarakis behind the scenes, very, very, very busy as always, so thank you very much to you two. And on our halftime show this afternoon for the Pie Shed, I've been lucky enough to be joined by a very famous football writer from the Melbourne Leader. He covers our EFL very well, Absolutely. Mr. Connor Ryan. Connor, how have you been enjoying the game so far, mate, and how have you seen this first opening half?
Thanks for the introduction, Billy. I'm not really sure about the famous part, but I do my best. It's actually great to be out here to see some Div 1 footy. I thought it was going to be wet. The forecast told me I'd be expecting rain, but it's great to see a game played in sunshine, and really, Balwyn had the run of it so far.
Well, that's exactly right. The ladder-topping Balwyn Tigers, they're at 11-0 for the season, and we came in with high expectations of this game. Vermont, obviously second on the ladder, as we've said, and it's really just been Vermont's big names like Ryan Mullett, Millhouse off half-back just haven't been able to get going this afternoon, really. And Balwyn's really slick ball movement, obviously. They've got the Gilchrist brothers coming through there and, have just been really shutting down Vermont this afternoon. What do you think of the keys going to be going forward for this second half?
It's a pretty simplified way of looking at things, but it starts in the middle. I haven't got the stats in front of me. I haven't been listening to the broadcast either because I want to keep a fresh look at it. But from my mind, Balwyn was smashing Vermont on the clearances, and that's where they had to get on top. And you saw in that second quarter there, but when Vermont finally won one out of the middle, they're able to kick 2 goals in a row for the first time in the game. And if Xavier Barry Murphy had kicked that goal late in the quarter, it would have actually given Vermont a fair bit of run heading into the third term. So that would have given us a bit of life, but I still think the Eagles are certainly within reach, and we could still have a close one in our hands.
I still think exactly that there is plenty of life in this game, and we will take you all the way through on EFL Gameday this afternoon with Ben Waterworth, BWS and the team. So recapping now, it's 7-8-50 to 3-5-23 in favour of the Balwyn Tigers here at SEN Park. I'm with Connor Ryan. Connor, there's a bit of wind out there, but look, what needs to happen for Justin Van Noonen to get into the game? I think he's been shut down really, really well. And also, I'm thinking the back six of the Vermont Eagles have made some critical errors. They've been kicking across the face of goal in the half-back line, turning it over. So we still do believe there is going to be a bit of life.
I'll just wait for the siren to finish on the background there, Billy. But I think you're right on both fronts. I mean, Van Noonen's been quiet. We saw he kicked a nice goal down here in that second quarter. But I think it's less his fault than the fact the ball hasn't been going in there so much. I mean, Balwyn's back six are very strong. We know that. Seeing Rod Crow up and about is really great because he's one of the premier players in the competition. But, I think Vermont's Warriors are further up the ground, and I think down back they might try and switch things around a bit. I don't think Benny Crow's got the mobility to stick with Jeff Gobbles, who's been very good. So they might mix things up down there and see if they can get a few different matchups.
That's most definitely right. And we, as you can hear the siren, the loudest siren in the EFL, our halftime is coming to an end. And obviously, we will be back with EFL Gameday. Ben Waterworth, Ben Warren Smith, and the team will take you through the whole of the second half in this top of the table EFL Div 1 epic. Stay tuned for the rest of EFL Gameday.
The best EFL rap on radio. Don't miss Akira EFL Sunday, 10 till 12 every Sunday morning, 98.1 Radio East. Ben Warren Smith and the team bring you all the final scores, goal kickers, best players and ladders following a big round of EFL football. Gang also talk to winning coaches, players and special guests, bringing you the final scores from all seniors, reserves and under-19s matches. Akira EFL Sunday, going live and local for your footy from 10 every Sunday on 98.1 Radio East.
It can be difficult booking an appointment with your GP when you need medical care urgently. But at Akira Urgent Care, Australia's first walk-in medical and emergency clinic, you don't need an appointment and you don't have to wait. Walk in at 157 Scoresby Road, Baronia, or call us on 9839 3333. That's 9839 3333. Akira Urgent Care. We'll have you off the sidelines in no time. Station sponsor.
And Barry Connor's back here in the studio. Let's check another AFL score, and we've got a half-time score. Game at Etihad Stadium this afternoon between North Melbourne and Richmond. Half-time. North Melbourne enjoying a big lead. North Melbourne 11-6-72, leading Richmond 2-7-19. Major goal scorers for North. Tarrant has 4, Bastanak 2, and Black also 2. And for Richmond, Foley and Alice and Jackson have 1 each. The other game is GWS Western Bulldogs Canberra. 17-minute mark of the third quarter, and it's all tied up. GWS, well, actually GWS just scored a point. So GWS 7-8-50 to the Western Bulldogs 7-7-49. And which GWS has 2, Shield 2, and 1 each to O'Halloran, Smith and Whitfield. And Bulldogs. Wallace with 1, Springer with 1, and Dalhouse. So an even game there this afternoon up there in Canberra.
Desperately need budget-friendly windows? Visit T&B Discount Window Warehouse. We'll have the right solution for you. T&B has new and surplus windows to suit any budget need, and you'll still have spare change to finish off your renovation. Visit T&B's new Superstore, Unit 4, 116 to 118 Canterbury Road in Kilsyth. T&B Discount Window Warehouse, part of the EAL and AW Window Transport Group, your number one in window transport.
Or 1300 075 038. Program sponsor. EFL TV is back and better than ever. Head to efl.org.au every Thursday morning to check out the new episode of EFL. EFL TV features weekly interviews with players and special guests. The EFL Media Team always discuss all the big issues in the Eastern Football League. You can get involved by voting for your favourite EFL player. EFL TV, live and local for your footy every Thursday morning at efl.org.au.
Good news, boys. It's 20% off to travel on Eastlink on weekends and public holidays with a car tax. So, with the money you'll save, you'll have enough.
Enough for what, Coach?
My birthday present next week, and I have my eye on some sparkly gold footy boots with some pandas on them. Get a freeze tag and use Eastlink, the quickest way to get around Melbourne's East. Arrive fresher, play better. Eastlink, it's time better spent. In sparkly boots.
Program sponsor. For all the latest news and information on the Eastern Football League, make sure you check out our website, www.efl.org.au.
Saturday game day continues. Let's head back and go local. Your footy.
And yes, today we're live and local out here at Balwyn SEN Park for Balwyn and Vermont. It's Balwyn 7-8-50 leading Vermont 3-5-23. The Tigers by 27 points. The Tigers out in the field. Vermont just made their way back out. Before we get stuck into this one, let's go to Grant Campbell with some first half stats that matter, thanks to Choose Tap.
Yes, the main areas at Balwyn were on top. With the centre clearances, they won that 9-3. Kicks, they had 105-70. Handballs, 88-55. And the main one's the inside 50 camp. If you don't get the ball inside 50, it's pretty hard to score, and Balwyn won that 30-16.
Great work, Grant Campbell, always working smoothly thanks to Choose Tap. We'll bring you up to date with all the scores right throughout the afternoon. Will and Matty working feverishly around the grounds as we've got one through. Croydon are leading Montrose by 10 points at half-time, so great effort there by the Blues. And in other scores around the ground, Ferntree Gully 34 lead Kilsyth 16, South Belgrave 59 lead Park Orchards 50, Forest Hill 76 lead Canterbury 38, and Nunawading lead Coldstream by 2 points. In Division 3, Boronia 62 lead Whitehorse 19, Mitcham 58 lead the Basin 46, Wantirna South 59 lead Warrandyte 35, Heathmont 39, lead Glenwaverley 34, Churnside Park by 4 points over Templestowe, Ringwood by 12 points over Doncaster. In Division 2, Mulgrave by 18 points over Donvale, North Ringwood only by 5 points over Doncaster East, Bayswater by 3 points over the Waverley Blues, and Mooroolbark only by 4 points over Upper Ferntree Gully. Blackburn leads Scoresby by 13 points, Norwood lead East Ringwood by 10 points, and Noble Park lead Rover by 8 points. In Division 1, Knox 16, Trail East Burwood 38. Could it be 2 weeks in a row for the Rams? South Croydon 60, lead Lilydale 35. Great work there by the Dogs. They are having a second half of the season to die for, no doubt about that one. But here in the radio game at SEN Park, it's Balwyn 7-8-50, leading Vermont 3-5-23. And on EFL Gameday, he's BWS.
The umpire throws it up. Taylor got the quick knockdown. It'll be Balwyn, though, to get the clearing kick. Scrambled up towards the half-forward line. Who's going to be the first to meet it? Going after it was Davis. He went to ground. In came to lend some support. There was Gilchrist. Handball over the top towards the direction there of Tim Johnson. He was gang tackled. Goebbels comes in, tries to barge his way through. Eventually, he goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. So we're into the first minute here in the third quarter. EFL Gameday, it's a 27-point margin to the Balwyn Football Club. They sit on top of the ladder and they're playing very well this afternoon. Murray got a knock on that one, then Millhouse fisted it out of that danger zone. Davis came in there as Gilchrist. So to Taylor the righty, he got gang tackled. Sanfilippo on hands and knees. In fact, it was Tregear. Got a little handball out, squeezed out towards the Schneider direction, and the umpires plucked out a free kick, and it'll go the way of Gilchrist about 45 metres out from goal.
Well,
So Rennie Gilchrist, the skipper, We've seen a couple of goals go through from this position today. They like getting the crowd right behind them. This would be their start, the Balwyn are after. Just to keep shutting that gate on the Vermont Football Club.
He'd love this one right in front of the faithful. He would lap this up, Rennie.
So he comes in now, 45 metres out. Rennie Gilchrist. Kick will fall short to the top of the goal square. In fact, it nearly went through. It was touched. Over she goes for a minor score. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard as we head into the second minute, Balwyn a 7-9-51, Vermont 3-5-23.
Great work, Will Taylor, working around the grounds, but also working as our scoreboard attendant today, doing a great job as Mullet brings it in for Vermont. Kick was okay for Millhouse, but Millhouse's hand pass put McCarthy on a lot of pressure. In turn, it's put a heap of players under pressure. Johns' kick was smothered off the boot, and Balwyn will be very satisfied to see that one over the boundary line and out of bounds, 50 metres out from their own goal.
Just went in the rooms, Vermont rooms at half-time. I heard Chris Barlow deliver a few home truths to his teammates. They're going to go man-on-man in this second half and try and shut down that loose man that Balwyn have enjoyed.
Wilson has it at true centre-half back for the Eagles. His kick inboard is pretty ordinary off the boot. Bounce didn't suit either side. Paddled out to Taylor Gilchrist, though. Tries to barge his way through the middle of the ground, and it worked out nicely. Finds brotherly love in Rennie, and that's a spearing ball inside 50. And Jeff Goebbels marks hands extended, dukes extended, and 40 metres out from goal. He will cover, and he'll look to put through his fourth for the afternoon.
He's not the biggest centre-half forward in the competition, but geez, he presents very, very well, Jeff Goebbels. He's so strong in the marking contest and just moves so quickly. What you don't see unless you watch him one-on-one is the way he leads up and then doubles back and leads again, continues to present all afternoon long.
Millhouse looks like he's gone back on to Goebbels as well, so Balwyn will be happy about that one, as will Jeff Goebbels, who's booted 3 on the afternoon. This for goal number 4. Approaches the 40-metre arc now, Jeff Goebbels. He celebrated straight away. And Goebbels puts through his fourth, and Balwyn are running away with this one pretty quickly here in front of their home crowd. 8-9-57 the Tigers, Vermont 3-5-23, and we've played 3 minutes on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
He just loves fronting up against the Vermont Football Club, does Jeff Goebbels. Had one of the best games you'll ever see in that grand final last year, and he's setting it alight this afternoon.
In the round-the-ground scores, Knox trail East Burwood by 19 points, South Croydon by 25 points over Lilydale, Blackburn by 13 over Scoresby, Norwood by 10 over East Ringwood, and Noble Park by 8 over Rowville.
Back in the middle of SEN Park, comes straight out to the arms of Mullet. He'll thump it on his boot, kick it inside forward 50 towards the Barden direction. He comes out and takes a strong mark. So he's about 50 metres out from goal. He gets the handball away to Davidson. He has to break one tackle. He might get a little handball away. He does so now to Johns, who wants to go back to Davidson. They need to get boot to ball. Exactly, Peter Baird. Over she goes for a boundary throw.
You sounded like an AFL supporter at the MCG last night. Kick it, kick it.
Davidson could have kicked that from 40 there. Had a perfect opportunity in handballs out towards the boundary line.
So the umpire to bring it back in. Houghton knocked it straight into the arms of Mullet, who arched his back, kicked it to the top of the goal square. That was a good kick too. Wilson, it bounces over his head. Who's going to be there? Van Noonan comes in. He gets it now on the receive. He needs to get boot to ball as well. Somehow got a handball out towards the Alice direction, who scrambled it across the face of goal. They just can't buy anything at the moment, the Vermont Football Club. Minor score is the result. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, they are trailing by 33 points. 3-6-24, plays 8-9-57.
It's almost as if no one wants to take responsibility for making a mistake. Someone's just got to take it. Someone like a Justin Van Union's got to take this game on and have a shot from the pocket and create something out of nothing.
Taylor Gilchrist to himself and drives it out towards the wing position. Murray put his head over the footy. Broadhurst almost into the back of Henley. Henley appeals for a free kick. Umpire Jared Reid says no thanks, we'll throw it in. Right in front of the Balwyn faithful.
I think some of that reluctance to kick the ball and actually look for the handball is because of the inferred pressure Balwyn have put on from their tackling pressure in the first half. It was absolutely superb.
Johns just took it out of the ruck and thumped it inside forward 50, but it's all Balwyn at the back, and this man, Sanfilippo, has been everywhere in his defensive half today. He marks in front of Barden, true centre-half back. Called the play on by the umpire now, and Sanfilippo spears it out towards Hendry, one-on-one with Davidson. And Davidson sees it over the boundary line, right in front of the beautiful footy EFL signs erected very nicely by the head of umpiring EFL, Michael Vozzo. Comes in now. Mullet will go up uncontested, grabs it out of the ruck and just slams it on the boot up towards the forward 40-metre arc.
He's been doing that a lot this afternoon, Mullet. Although he's been getting touches, he's just been blazing away and not really looking where he's kicking to.
Marco Regan's been very good on him this afternoon, held him very well, and we saw a little bit of him in the second quarter, but he struggled pretty much throughout.
They don't call Marco Regan the glove for no reason, Braden.
And the kick from Mullet was pretty ordinary. It's gone out of bounds on the fall, and it's taken about two or three people down there to retrieve the ball for Steve Kenner. So he's got it left half back flank for the Tigers. This defensive six and Balwyn just impresses us more and more every time we see them. Kenner's part of that. He goes up towards half forward. Big fly from Tregear over the top. Millhouse was there, and Broadhurst sees it over the boundary line and out of bounds.
I think Goebels got winded then.
In Division 2, Waverley Blues trail Bayswater by 3 points, Croydon by 10 over Montrose, Mooralbark by 4 over Upper Gully, Mulgrave by 18 over Donvale, and North Ringwood by 5 over Doncaster East. And Balwyn have got a truckload of space. Hendry tries to thump it on towards goal, nicely smothered there by Tim Johnson. He's got under a lot of pressure though. McMahon, how did he dispose of that one? Not sure. Jaden Hogle surely tackled at the football. Umpire said play on. Davis tries to trap it inside the forward 50-metre arc in the end. Umpire Jarrah Reid just let it go, and we'll have a stalemate as Alan Murray and David Barton face off almost a mafia style right in front of us here in the broadcast position, and Taylor thumps it over the boundary line and out of bounds 40 metres out from Balwyn's goal. In Division 3, around the grounds, Heathmont by 5 over Glen Waverley, Churnside Park by 4 over Templestowe, Ringwood by 12 over Doncaster, Baronia by plenty over Whitehorse, Mitcham by 12 over the Basin, and Wanturna South by 24 over Warrandyte. As the Eagles try to move it out towards the wing position, Churgwin did it really well, just used his body smartly on that occasion, and a kick ends up voluptuously in the hands here of Turner. McMahon inside 50 towards Goebels, takes them out! Got it! Goebels cannot do a thing wrong at the moment, and he marks 25 metres out, not much angle, and this to put his fourth goal on the board.
The man is a superstar of the Eastern Football League, Ben Waterworth. There is no... I'll tell you what, he's showing today why he's number 2 in Frosty's top 50.
And Peter Baird can't help himself with another third-person mention here on EFL Gameday. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 FM and EFL.org.au. I'm sure Jeff Goebels will enjoy listening back to this one as he's playing one of the best games of the season for him personally, as Goebels, for his fourth on the afternoon, comes in, looks a little right off the boot, and it stays right, and another minor score for Goebels. And Balwyn, well, they could be a lot further in front. 8-10-58 they are. Vermont 3-6-24. We've played 8 minutes on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap Match Stats.
Inside 50s this quarter, 5-4 in favour of Balwyn. The clearances, Vermont have been on top, winning that 6-3.
Millhouse played it to himself and then drove the ball long out towards the wing position. He was looking out for a teammate there, and Crow went over the top of his head, and hands and knees Churgwin. They're going to come in and bounce it. So true centre wing position out here at Balwyn Park. Home side lead it, and they lead it well. Pye throws the ball up now. Nice knock down there by Carrodus. Went straight over the boundary line and out of bounds for another stoppage.
Pretty good crowd assembled here. Lots of people assembled on the club room side, and a few sparsely separated on that other side. Great turnout from the EFL.
Carrodus and Turner will give that one to Turner, and Balwyn surge forward. The kick goes inside forward, 50. Tregear at the front spot for Barker, over the back, comes down and pulls down a screamer. Fantastic go mark there by the big man, Peter Baird.
Oh, it was just steady sights on the ball, launched at it. All the attention went to Goebels at the front of the pack, and Barker able to float across the back beautifully. Strong hands in the marking contest. Should go back. He's a fantastic set shot at goal. I'm backing him to kick this one, BWS.
I'll come back to it in a second, but that's an important point you make. The attention went to another forward, and that's happened all day, especially for Goebels. The attention's gone to Barker, it's gone to Broadhurst, and the other's taken the advantage.
Well, he's been a perfect wingman to Goebels this afternoon. He wants to get around it. He curls it back nicely. That's his second goal. And Balwyn are really running away with this game now. We've gone 10 minutes in the third term. And on the ball and the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, Balwyn lead 9-10-64. It's out to 40 points, Ben Waterworth. Vermont 3-6-24.
Certainly has.
Braden, I'm just looking around. And Vermont are actually getting out-muscled around the ground as well today. And they're really missing that physical pressure that a guy like Robbie Ross, not only in the ruck, but his physical pressure around the ground that he puts on, and his strength at contests.
It's not just one player though, Pete. I mean, it's an incisive performance from all 22 players. They're not putting their head over their footy, and they're just being beaten to the ball constantly.
Speaking of Robbie Ross, just seeing team down there on watching this game on. He wouldn't be too happy about that as Balwyn are going to get another clearance. Ends up in the hands of Rennie Gilchrist. Jaden Hogle will unload from 40 metres out. Barker's at the top of the goal square, but it squeezes in for a minor score. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, it is all the Tigers. 9-11. The Balwyn Footy Club 65, Vermont 3-6-24, 10.5 gone. Bendigo Bank scoreboard, Braden Ingram.
Yeah, it's all happening at the clearances as well. I mean, they're just Balwyn are winning it and getting it clearly inside 50 every time.
O'Regan's going to pick up the ball on the far side, and Mullet's handball went to absolutely no one. Here comes Harris on the left boot from 50 metres out. Couldn't quite squeeze it back. Another minor scored. They are peppering the goals, the Tigers. And at the 10.5 minute mark, Balwyn at 9-12-66, Vermont 3-6-24.
Those last two shots on goal, they were unbelievable. Like they blazed away there, and they had Luke Barker one-on-one in the goal square. Dan Donati won't be happy about that, and hope his team doesn't start lairising, because they could really put Vermont away here if they don't.
Millhouse, Schneider and Barton share the ball along the back flank, but thumped over the boundary line and out of bounds. True centre wing position, Grant Campbell. Some stats that matter thanks to Choose Tap.
Balwyn 17 kicks and 7 handballs. Compare that to Vermont, who've had 11 kicks and 13 handballs.
So Fraser went up as the third man in the ruck, brought the ball to ground, but Schneider will able to kick this one forward and almost find touch. Ben Crow against Rod Crow. There's an interesting matchup. Calling nightmares. That goes up towards the back forward pocket for the Eagles. They did well just to gain some touch, and they'll see it tossed back in 30 metres out from Vermont's goal. Hope you're enjoying the call on 98.1 FM and EFL.org.au. It's been a Balwyn party so far as Turner went up in the ruck, tries to bring the ball to ground. Ben Crow on hands and knees is wrapped up immediately, and umpire Wayne Duke will throw this one up 30 metres out from Vermont's goal.
Just interesting to get your thoughts, Braden. What does this do to the psyche of the Vermont Football Club, though? They got comprehensively beaten by Balwyn earlier in the year. They're doing it to them again this afternoon, and after last year's grand final defeat as well, they've really got the wood over the Eagles at the moment.
Yeah, look, it creates a large amount of doubt, because at the moment, I mean, Vermont, they are really struggling. They're missing a couple players. We mentioned they're missing Ross, they're missing Froud, sure, but that doesn't make an entire side. And it's a number of things. Their accountability. I mean, Chris Barlow's asked for one-on-one footy. He said pre-game we need one-on-one footy. We haven't seen it all day. I mean, loose players at the back of contests have just killed them all day, and I mean, that's not their only problem going forward. They've been horrid. Their ball use. I mean, this is one of those games that maybe you just put away and don't look at it again.
Boundary throwing Malacur on the half-back flank here for the Tigers, and they're often running through Armstrong. He goes up towards half-forward. Carradis was there. Strong thump away from the young man, and he thumps it over the boundary line and out of bounds. Right forward, or right half-back flank, I should say, for the Vermont Footy Club.
I think that play sums it up. Carradis could have easily taken a mark. His teammates, all they do is need to talk to him and tell him that's yours. Instead, he thumps it out of bounds.
Nervous spoil from Carradis as Broadhurst picks it up. Barker one-on-one with Waller from the side. Millhouse. He tried to bring the ball to ground. He did that successfully. Waller's under a lot of pressure, though. Balwyn should get a goal out of this because there's players everywhere. Jaden Hogle unfortunately misses. In fact, it was O'Regan on that occasion, and it goes through for a minor score. There were Balwyn players everywhere at the fall of that contest. Tigers 9-13-67, Eagles 3-6-24, 22 scoring shots to 9 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Jaden Hogle there not too happy with that shot on goal from Mark O'Regan, running into the open goal. All he needed to do was dish off and play the team game rather than blaze away again.
Well, Millhouse will bring the ball back in, a spearing 50-metre pass. It was a good one. Spots up his teammate there in Davidson, gets a handball away to Emley. In fact, it was Bird who got it to Emley, squeezed a kick out wide. They need to go after the ball. They're just standing waiting for it. It was Tim Johnson. Now Balwyn will go inside forward 50 again, and Hogle has got it across that half-forward line. Distance might just be beyond him here. Harris is going to swing around and try and get the handball. Eventually, well, now he wanted to go for the handball.
Look how many players want the handball. Taylor Gilchrist, Hendry, Harris.
It's that side of the ground. They want the crowd to get right behind him. So Hogle, he'll have a shot. He's kicked one goal today. He eventually gets the handball away. Now they kick the ball to the top of the goal square. Who's going to be the flyer here? Goes through for one behind, straight over the head of a Blake Broadhurst. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, we cross almost the 15-minute mark of the Premiership quarter. Balwyn 9-14-68, Vermont 3-6-24.
Very apt you say that, BWS, but I reckon we're looking at the Premiership side right now.
Dean Millhouse brings it in, and he finds McCarthy. Lays to Shepherd for Mullet, but he hasn't got a lot where to go, the champion. Mullet goes up towards the centre wing position. This would be good for touch, but in the end, Jared Churgwin was just in the right position at the right time. That's been a common theme for the Tigers right throughout the day. Churgwin goes inside 50. Taylor from the side. Strong mark from the big ruckman. He marks in his own defensive 40. Handballs off to Chris Barton. Goes towards a 2-on-1 situation. Big fly over the top from Barry Murphy. Wasn't able to bring that one down. Balwyn have the numbers. Armstrong chips it over the top towards Goldsack. And he's drifted forward. In fact, it's Broadhurst, Broadhurst marks. He's about 40 metres out from goal, but he's tucked up in the pocket. He's on the right side for a right footer, though, so we'll see how Blake Broadhurst can go with this one. Come across from Subiaco from the Waffle. Blake Broadhurst this year, he's booted 5 goals from 3 games. Goes towards goal, Blake Broadhurst, looks all right, hits the woodwork. Through for a minus score, and Balwyn, they've peppered the goals this term. They've actually kicked 7 behinds for the term. 9-15-69 Balwyn to Vermont 3-6-24. Vermont have just kicked 1 point for the term.
Millhouse goes short to Waller, who goes on to Mendez, who kicks it up towards the wing position. It was like he tried to spot out Stevie Kenner then, put it right on his chest. So Balwyn, another chance. Millhughes has it across the half-back line or close to the wing position. Galeno came charging up. Kick goes across the face now. That was a beautiful looking kick too, and now the Tigers will get the chance to go forward up towards the Broadhurst direction, who's come alive in this last 5 minutes of play. Just inside the centre square, gets the handball away now. The kick goes inside forward 50. Taylor couldn't take it, probably should have. Barker comes charging through. He was dispossessed. Schneider gets gang tackled by Murray. The umpire will come in and bounce it about 30 metres out directly in front. In fact, he said it was a little bit crude by Murray in the end, and a free kick will go to to Vermont.
How do you get gang tackled by one man? The one-man gang, Alan Murray.
The kick goes up towards Schneider.
Look
they
ahead.
just need to slow down.
It's all Balwyn players ahead. He's got no one on. He's got no Vermont. They're just not moving, BWS.
There's 5 players within 10 metres of him as well. I don't know what good that does. So the kick by Barton goes up towards the wing position. And just as Braden said, Sanfilippo comes across the pack. They could have plucked it between 3 of them then. So Sanfilippo goes back towards the Hendry direction. He's got Crow in the middle of the ground if he wants to use him. Now the big fella can take off. Kick up towards the half-forward line. Who's going to be the target here? Barker comes flying from the back. He nearly gave a bit of a shove. It's picked up there by Tim Johnson. Handballed it away out of that danger zone. Found Alice. He's out of bounds. And we'll have a boundary throw in. Grant Campbell, some choose stats.
Inside 50s this quarter, 14-5 in favour of Balwyn. Vermont continually turning it over. Intercept marks 4-1 in favour of Balwyn.
45 points is the margin. Taylor got a fist on it. Comes out to Houghton, who got it away to Hendry. Bangs it on his boot to the top of the goal square. It's a Barker and Goebel show who's going to get this one. The battle goes through for 1 behind, knocked over by Dean Waller. So the Medigo Bank scoreboard as we cross the 18-minute mark of the third term. Balwyn 9-16-70. Vermont still only 3 goals, 3-6-24.
You can just tell that Luke Barker wants to do something very fancy before the game. Oh, what a fly! Over the top, magnificent mark by the Tigers.
Christian Sanfilippo.
And he's had an awesome game, Sanfilippo. The kick inside 50 let him down, though. And Barton takes the mark for Vermont. What a fly, though, from Sanfilippo, who's barely done anything wrong up until that last kick. And Vermont will look to rebound this one, as they have done for the majority of this third term, but have gone nowhere. Ben Crowe shares it with Barton. Now here's a bit of space for Dean Millhouse. Opens up. He's got a player leading on true centering position. The kick needs to be precise. It might work out okay here for the Eagles. They go back to go forward. Barton shares it with Ellis. Ellis gets onto the left foot and goes up towards the full forward area. Van Noonen and Schneider are there. Picked up, though, by Barry Murphy. Got a hand pass back towards Mullet from the standing start. Mullet towards the top of the goal square. Van Noonen needs to use his body. Good bounce for Galeno. Needs to kick the goal, Galeno. And he misses off to the left-hand side. Adrian Galeno yet to hit the scoreboard until that moment. And Vermont with their second behind for the term. 3-7-25 the Eagles. Balwyn 9-16-70. We've played 8.5 minutes on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Third term here on EFL Gameday.
So Taylor Gilchrist to bring the ball back in for the Tigers. Long searching kick. Taylor will be the first one to fly there for Vermont. It comes out towards the Millhouse direction. Somehow squeezed a kick inside 50. That was a good one too. Found Galeno. He went to play on. He got gang tackled as well. Over the fall of the ball there. Sanfilippo tries to paddle it out. Out there is Alice is trying to get a handle on it, as is Mullet. And it's centre half forward for the Vermont Football Club. Will have a bounce.
Why did Adrian Galeno try and play on that? He's taken a mark 30 metres out from goal, directly in front, but looking to play on and just crunched in a tackle. So it's just that inferred pressure from Balwyn at the moment.
Carrot has got the knockdown straight into the arms of Ben Harris. He was brought to ground by Tim Johnson and will have a bounce.
North Ringwood at three-quarter time in a tough arm wrestle against Doncaster East. North Ringwood 11-11-77, Doncaster East 10-4-64.
Just a report from Ray Baird I heard at half-time. The worst game of football he's seen in the Eastern Football League this year in regards to skill.
So the umpire throws it up now. It's a pretty big whack to give a couple of clubs playing a great game out there at Service Reserve.
Only reporting what he said to me at half-time.
Yeah, well, he was probably texting you.
If it's so bad, why is it so high scoring? It's 11-12 to 10-4.
With the turnovers and lack of discipline and pressure.
Umpire throws it up now. Taylor had an arm. He had Houghton's arm right over his shoulder. Then the umpire let play go on. It was Murray who somehow scrambled it out. McMahon's in there too. Vermont screaming for holding the ball here. They might get it in the end. Just sitting on it and laying an egg. So it'll be a Vermont free kick. And the free kick will be in the arms of David Barton, about 50 metres out from goal.
Well, look, the scoreline at the moment doesn't at all represent Balwyn's just dominance of this game. A chance here at least for Barton to add a little bit of respectability. Got a couple of players wanting the handball, but just needs to kick one and make things a little bit interesting.
He doesn't look too confident either, but he's usually a beautiful kick of the football. The ball goes to the top of the goal square. Houghton was there at the fall of the ball. Sanfilippo got it to Crow, and now through a series of handballs finds Kenner across the half back line. Spears a pass out. That was a good kick too. Finds Churgwin. He's going to swing around. He's got players in the middle there. Rennie Gilchrist takes the mark. Murray's over the top if he wants to use him, but instead that they'll go for the switch. So he finds his brother in Taylor. Gilchrist kicks it up towards the Millhausen direction. Houghton, the big man, cut across and took the mark. The umpire said it wasn't far enough. He somehow got boot to ball. Justin Van Unen's in there for the Eagles. He somehow got a little scrambly kick up towards the Wilson direction, who might use Barton on the left boot. He might have to go. He ran himself into a lot of trouble and handballed it right towards the boundary line. If it wasn't deliberate or holding the ball, he was got away with that one, Peter Baird.
He certainly did there. Sold himself into pressure then, just trying to do a little bit too much then was Barton.
It's been very quiet today as well as the umpire brings the ball back in. Taylor had the front spot there. Picked up there by Mendez. Got a little handball out towards the John direction. He picked it up. He was met heavily by Kenner and Gilchrist of the Taylor variety, and we'll have a bounce at centre-half forward for Vermont.
Just took the headphones off and listening to number one stats man Vermont for Vermont, Wayne Brasher. He's not a very happy boy, just off about 10 metres to our right.
Must have listening tomorrow morning on EFL Sunday.
Mullet somehow got a handball out to Davidson. He needs to kick a goal, Davidson, but he doesn't. He pushes it to the right-hand side, and another minor score to the Vermont Football Club. That's their 8th for the afternoon. They are trailing 3-8-26. Balwyn at 9-16-70. We're 22 minutes gone.
13 scoring shots in this third quarter to both between the two teams, and only 2 goals being put through. So we'll head to Grant Campbell now with some stats that matter, all thanks to Choose Tap.
Probably the only criticism of Balwyn you could have is they're kicking from general play. They've kicked 2 goals 10 from that source.
Beautiful kick out from Kenner. Finds Taylor Gilchrist on the outer side. He goes up towards Goebbels, but Millhouse just read it a little bit better on that occasion, Dean Millhouse. He reads the play so well. And his kicking's normally spot on, and that's no exception. He finds Taylor. Centre wing. He uses Barton with a handball behind, but Barton's got no one to go to because this Balwyn press is all over the Eagles. And a strong tackle applied by the Tigers sees a free kick against Davis.
The Eagles have been winged at the moment, Ben Waterworth.
And Blake Broadhurst has got the ball, true centre wing position. Goes inboard towards Goebbels. Beautiful kick. Goebbels presents for Dukes. Didn't take the mark on first grab, but he brings the ball to the ground. Millhusen's there trying to pick this one up with Harris. Harris did well to get it back to Goldsack. Goldsack's hand pass put Churgwin under a lot of pressure, but Balwyn will have the numbers. They'll come up with this. Don't worry about this one. Caritas comes through, immediately wrapped up by Balwyn players. And in the middle of SEN Park, we'll see a ball up from Jared Reid. And on the boundary of SEN Park, we'll cross down to Billy Vickers, thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Thanks, Ben. Just a quick update on conditions. It looks like a few of these black clouds, it looks like they're going to pass straight by, so that's okay for Gavin and I down here, but the wind has really dropped off as well, guys, so I don't think that's going to play a factor at all this afternoon.
Nice work, Billy. Yes, the wind was certainly pretty prominent in the reserves game earlier today. It's held off nicely for today's senior game. It's held off nicely for Balwyn as they look to try and bring it through the middle. O'Regan.
Gone.
How many times, how many opportunities you get ready to get one? And a free kick against O'Regan, for O'Regan, I should say, against Barton. And umpire Wayne Duke is the man who's given away the free kick and will go the way of O'Regan.
That's frustrating to watch. He was dead to rights and he cops a late hit and gets away with it.
Taylor over the top. Thumps it over the top. Almost
straight at Dan Donati.
Dan Donati, Justin Cosgrove and Paul Johnson and the crew down there in the Balwyn coaching box. That was a bit of an authority, I think a show of frustration more than anything else from Simon Taylor. He'll have another shot to tap it down here, straight down to O'Regan though. His kick only went to Davis. O'Regan's going to get another free kick here. Yep, I think against Taylor.
Yeah, he copped it in the back
afterwards. So Taylor's frustration just pouring out here.
Be careful not to do something silly in the next couple of minutes here, Simon Taylor.
So O'Regan will get a second free kick in a minute. He's got Rennie Gilchrist out wide. Gilchrist used that well. And Taylor again off the ball. Another free kick against Simon Taylor, and that's stupid. And as you would expect, players rushing from everywhere to get into Simon Taylor.
They're still going to play on. They've got players in the goal.
Just play on, Goble.
Yeah, he's got players there. He's just got to use them.
He does, and he goes inboard. Goldsack marks, and McMahon will take this one directly in front. McMahon's going to run into an open goal and bang it through. So McMahon puts through his second for the day as tempers boil over for Simon Taylor and the Vermont Football Club. Balwyn 10-16-76. Vermont 3-8-26.
His jumper's
I can't
been ripped
believe
off
he
his
has
back.
not been given a card for that,
A
Trent Waterworth.
50-point ball game, Frosty Baird, here at SEN Park. We've played 25 and a half minutes.
It was a late hit, but I mean, it wasn't high or anything.
No,
I agree with
no.
you. It should be a card. It was late.
He should be taken off.
He's been given a card.
He's
been given a
coming
card.
off now. Coming off now.
He's been given a card.
I tell you what, though, Scotty Houghton was on the boundary line. He was towering over a couple of Vermont players. He just was absolutely all over him.
Ball back in the middle of the ground. That's what we want. That's what we're here for. We're here to see the footy.
Yeah,
Barton Salmhay scrambles a kick, but Balwyn again are going to have the numbers. Hogle comes charging out right on his hammer. There was that player in Barton to get the fist away. Wilson now, neat left kick out towards the Snyder direction. Sold the dummy, bounced it once, goes up towards centre half forward. He sets sail for goals. It's a long searching kick, but he pushes it to the left hand side. So minor score to the Vermont Football Club. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard at the 26-minute mark, they are 3-9-27. The Balwyn Tigers 10-16-76.
Gav Casey, thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Just on boundary side, Simon Taylor got a few assessments given to him on his playing abilities and just his physical strength. But also just to note that when that melee was on, it was interesting. It was like 4 players versus 1. You've never seen a game like that in a long while, where there's only 5 people participating.
Can you confirm, Gav, whether a card was actually issued to Simon Taylor?
No, there was no card. The game would have been stopped to scored him off, so it was just because his jumper was ripped off. The whole chest was showing.
Well, Gav, as you were talking, Jaden Hogle's kicked a goal.
And he saluted the Vermont supporters as well.
He certainly has. The ball went from one end to the other. Jaden Hogle somehow found himself uncontested. No player was within him 50 metres, and he puts through another goal. That's his second on the afternoon. And Balwyn 11-16-82. Vermont 3-9-27. This is getting really, really ugly.
This could get stupid here because, I mean, the Vermont players, they've clearly had enough. Simon Taylor's shown that. I mean, 2 open goals they just run into. Hogle's had 25 metres of space all around him to run into an open goal. They've got to pull their heads in Vermont. They are just lost the plot.
Grant Campbell quickly, thanks to Choose Tap.
Marks inside 50, 12-4 for the match, and the inside 50 count is now up to 46 compared to 26.
27 and a half minutes gone in this third term. Wouldn't expect there to be too much longer in this quarter. And it's in on cue. We've done that. I think we've done that every quarter so far, Ben Waterworth.
We have.
3-quarter time out here at SEN Park, and it is the Balwyn Tigers leading from the front, 11-16-82, Vermont 3-9-27. This game is done and dusted, but there's still a quarter to go out here, and a big crowd ensemble to watch what was due to be the match of the season to date. So go through some of those major goal kickers before we head off.
Hasn't quite turned out that way. 3 to
Not
Goebbels,
close.
2 to Luke Barker, 2 to Ryan McMahon, and 2 to Jaden Hogle, and 1 to Shane Tregear for Balwyn. And for Vermont, their 3 goal kickers are Justin Van Union, Ryan Mullett, and Lockie Johns in that third term. Balwyn kicked 4 goals, 8. Vermont kicked 4 behinds. We'll come back with all the around-the-ground scores right after the break here on EFL Game Day. Some interesting games going on right around the eastern suburbs of Melbourne. We'll be all over it right after this here on EFL Game Day.
Had an accident on the field? Head straight to Akira Urgent Care for immediate medical treatment, and you won't have to wait. For a maximum of $75, we'll treat your broken bones, sprains, strains, cuts, or any other game day injury. Walk in at 157 Scoresby Road.
House have 1 each, so a very close game indeed, but it's going to go either way towards the end, so we'll keep an eye on that one. Now, another game being played is right here in Melbourne at the Etihad Stadium this afternoon between North Melbourne and Richmond, and it's the 24-minute mark of the third quarter, so almost 3-quarter time. It's North Melbourne 14-8-92, leading Richmond 3-13-31, so some bad kicking and some bad play on Richmond so far. Never been in it so far. Major goal scorers for North. Tarrant has 4, 2 to Mullets, 2 to Bastanak, 2 to Black, and 1 to Harvey. And for Richmond, Jackson has 1, Morris 1, Ellis 1. The major goal scorers and delegates. Way at 4:40 this afternoon between the Gold and the Supplies. A little bit later on, but we'll keep you up to date right here on EFL Gameday.
Desperately need budget-friendly windows? Visit T&B Discount Window Warehouse, who'll have the right solution for you. T&B has new and surplus windows to suit any budget need, and you'll still have shock your renovation. Visit T&B's new Superstore, Unit 4, 116 to 118 Canterbury Road in Kilsyth. T&B Discount Window Warehouse, part of the EAL and AW Window Transport Group, your number one in window transport.
Call 1300 075 038. Program sponsor. EFL TV is back and better than ever. Head to EFL.org.au every Thursday morning to check out the new episode of EFL. EFL TV features weekly interviews with players and special guests. The EFL Media Team always discuss all the big issues in the Eastern football. You can get involved by voting for your favourite EFL player of the week. EFL TV, live and local, 12 every Thursday morning at EFL.org.au. For the best EFL rap on radio, don't miss Akira EFL Sunday, 10 till 12 every Sunday morning, 98.1 Radio East. Ben Warren Smith and the team bring you all the final scores, goal kickers, best players and ladders following a big round of EFL football. Gang also talk to winning coaches, players and special guests, bringing you the final scores from all seniors, reserves and under-19s matches. Akira EFL Sunday, going live and local for your footy from 10 every Sunday, 98.1 Radio East. For all the latest news and information on the Eastern Football League, make sure you check out our website, www.efl.org.au.
Saturday game day continues. Let's head back and go local. Your footy.
And we're live and local today from Balwyn SEN Park on the beautiful suburb of Balwyn on Whitehorse Road. And Balwyn 11-16-82 lead Vermont 3-9-27. It has been all Vermont. Let's cross down boundary side.
Yes, we're boundary side here at SEN Park with the coach of Balwyn, Dan Donati. So far, so good, mate?
No, yeah, so far so. It's been a hot game. Our pressure's been fantastic all around the ground. We haven't used the footy as well as we have in the past, but I think that's sort of credit to the Vermont pressure. But yeah, to be 40, 50 odd points up at the break at three-quarter time, yeah, it's great.
And just noticing that it's coming, that physical pressure, the tackles, I reckon it's actually grinded them down and it's frustrated them.
Yeah, we've tackled really well today. We came with the mindset that we've just got to pressure them, and you know they've been in good form. But if you pressure a good side and you tackle and you come out with that sort of mindset, ideally this is what happens. So no, they've been good.
One more quarter before the end of the game. What are you looking for? What did you tell the boys that they need to do, especially after a melee?
Oh, look, the wind's died down. There's basically no advantage either way. I want to win the quarter. I want to just play the brand of football we do hard. I want 20 tackles again this quarter. I want run from behind. I just want us to play normal footy. Don't showboat. Don't run ahead of the ball. I just want to win this quarter.
Well done, so good luck with the last one.
Great work, Gav Casey, and great work, Dan Donati, the coach of the Balwyn Footy Club there with Gav. He's a professional unit. He runs a professional unit, does Dan Donati, and they're doing a great job down there. Paul Johnson and Justin Cosgrove, the 18 down there, always doing a great job. And I saw Madison Hardeman, well, in the reserves, he was certainly having looked like an assistant coaching role, but now he's got a can in his hand, not surprised. Grant Campbell, some stats that matter, thanks to Choose Tap.
There's only a few that really matter. The uncontested possessions, Balwyn winning 153 to 104. The inside 50 count, 48 to 26. Marks inside 50, 12 to 4.
We'll bring you up to date with all the scores around the EFL very shortly as the crowd disperses now. I'll just quickly go through Division 1. Knox have just hit the lead against East Burwood by 3 points, and South Croydon, they lead Lilydale by 29 points. What a great effort by the Dogs. Norwood lead East Ringwood 74 to 36, and Noble Park lead Roval by 22 points. And Blackburn might be heading for their first win in a long time, 11-10-76. Blackburn 76, Scoresby 57 here on EFL Gameday BWS.
55 points is the margin as the umpire restarts this last quarter. Emily somehow got a handball out, but straight into the arms of Rennie Gilchrist. A neat left foot kick up towards the half forward line. It was after Goebbels. He nearly pulled it in with the one hand too. Mullet's going to be the first one to meet it for the Eagles. Going after it again is Goebbels. He picked it up, nearly copped one high, got a handball away. Nathan Henley has been very quiet this afternoon. Got a handball away towards Lachlan Johns. Picked the ball up, got it away to Schneider. In a series of handballs, they put themselves under pressure. Barry Murphy, back to Johns, back to Mullet now. Slams it on the boot, kicks it up towards the wing position. Here's Barden to come flying in from the side. Mendez couldn't quite pull it down at the fall of the ball. It was picked up nicely there by Tregear to get the handball back. The Tigers are going to get themselves out of trouble here. McMahon doubles back, got the handball away to Milhausen, got the handball across, and now they've switched the play nicely, and Harris takes the mark on the edge of the centre square. Far side of the ground, he switched the play back again. That was a good play. Sanfilippo has just been super and everywhere this afternoon. Bangs it on his boot. I don't know who that was intended to. He picked for touch in the end, and over the boundary line she goes. Let's cross down boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care to Billy Vickers.
Yes, I've just come out of the Vermont Huddle BWS. He's put the focus on man footy. He just wants the boys to make some sort of statement this afternoon. And just so you know, the big boy, Simon Taylor, is in jumper 64. I'm sure you'll see him out there, though.
Well, Harris had a year. He just swings around on the left boot, thumps it inside forward 50, but nobody was home. And Nathan Henley takes the mark. He put himself under a lot of pressure. They might be able to raffle this. Murray's on the end of it, slams it on the boot, and that's how you start a last quarter when you're the best team in the Eastern Football League. And Balwyn surge away on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard at the 2-minute mark. They had 12 goals, 16-88. Vermont 3-9-27.
Oh, that's just Vermont flexing their muscle now, showing a potential challenger what it takes to be number one. You're not as good as we are today, they're saying to Vermont, the football club, and they're making a real statement to the rest of the competition right here on SEN Park.
Well, look, they've asked, Chris Barlow's asked for man-on-man footy in the last quarter. He's asked for it for the first 3 quarters and he hasn't delivered, so I'd be surprised if it came out in this last.
And by Wayne Duke, balls it up in the middle. Taylor got the tap down, but straight down to Rennie Gilchrist. He goes up towards centre half forward. Murray couldn't quite trap it on the bounce. Barry Murphy does. Barry Murphy for Vermont gets a little left foot kick out wide. Davis just needs a kind bounce. He got one at half back, but he's under a big pressure from Stevie Kenner. He tackles Davis and forces the ball over the boundary line and out of bounds. He tossed back in 60 metres out from Balwyn's forward 50. They lead by 61 points on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. We'll hear from Matty Van Der Arkus very shortly with some around the ground scores. There's a big boundary throw-in, works out nicely for Tregear. Slams it on the left boot. It goes long, but it goes left and through for a minus score. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, Balwyn going to 12-17-89. Vermont a 3-9-27. We've played 3 minutes on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Let's cross to Matty now with some Division 1 around the ground scores.
Alrighty guys, so we have Knox taking the lead, 3 points over East Bearwood 3/4 time. Lilydale are trailing South Croydon, 7-10-52 to 12-9-81. We have Blackburn leading Scoresby by 19 points, Norwood leading East Ringwood by 38 points, and Rowville trailing Noble Park by 22 points at 3/4 time.
Great stuff, Matty, as Mullet, the captain of Vermont, brings the ball back into play, thumps it, well, every bit of 60 metres up towards the Taylor direction. He's in the 64 jumper now. His other one got ripped off his back. Trying to break a tackle is Ben Crow across centre half forward, and we'll have a bounce.
Division 2 scores, Matty.
Alrighty, so we have Bayswater leading the Waverley Blues by 27 points, Montrose leading Croydon by 14, Mooroolbark trailing Upper Ventricule by 3 points, Donvale trailing Mulgrave by 14, and we have Doncaster East 10-4-64 against North Ringwood 11-12-78, so North Ringwood have the upper hand there.
So Vermont have it in the half back line. The kick goes to Johns. He goes backwards to the back pocket to Henley. On the right boot now. Scrambly little kick. Finds his teammate out there in Davidson. So Vermont, they need to kick some goals. They need to change it up. Take some risks. The game's done and dusted, but they need to keep improving. Taylor was the target. The big man goes up and takes a pretty decent mark on the fly. Gets the handball away now. Vermont inside forward 50 towards the Millhouse direction, who's gone down to the forward line, and he takes a strong mark on the second bite. He's about 45 metres out from goal here. Distance shouldn't be a problem. It's usually a beautiful kick. Goes up towards the goal square, towards the Van Unit direction. Mendes was there too. So too Churgwin. He might go for the safety of the behinds. He might have even copped one in the back off the play. He did, in fact, and he'll receive the free kick, and he'll keep things moving pretty quickly too, because Broadhurst is in the back pocket. He takes the mark. They're not going to stop here, are they? Harris gets a little handball away, but it was cut off there. Mendes, he got brought to the ground in a strong tackle, picked up there by Bird. In comes Rennie Gilchrist, gets it to Broadhurst, got it to O'Regan. He was tackled. Stevie Kenner come charging through at 100 miles an hour, just couldn't quite trap the ball. Vermont through Schneider now. We'll get another chance to go inside forward 50. It was a scrambly looking kick and there was nobody home. Tregear probably dropped what he should have taken. Mendes gets a little handball away. Churgwin cut that off and they're away again, the Tigers.
They certainly are. Churgwin goes up towards the centre wing position, but Ben Crow stood strong for the Eagles. They'll look to bring it in towards the middle of the ground. The kick is good for Lockie Johns, who's tried hard for the Eagles today. He looks to play on quickly. Davidson one-on-one with Millhusen. Oh, strong mark. One-handed Dookish style mark from Davidson. 40 metres out from goal. He'll go back and look to put through his first goal for the day and Vermont's first since the second quarter. He plays on, unloads from 40, but it's a shank. goes out of bounds on the full. And Vermont and Balwyn will look to bring this one back in. Maddie, some Division 3 scores around the grounds.
Alrighty, we've got Heathmont leading Glen Waverley by 12 points at three-quarter time, Templestowe trailing Chenside Park by 9, Doncaster trailing Ringwood by 14, Boronia big lead over Whitehorse by 52 points, Mitcham in front of the Basin by a mere 2 points, and we have Wantirna South extending their lead to 46 points over Warrandyte at three-quarter time.
A lot of close games around the EFL today, so we'll keep you in the loop as Vermont will receive a free kick here. Mullet, big fly from behind, wasn't able to quite take it cleanly. Tim Johnson came in, tried to handball it away towards Van Union. Here's Chris Barden. He's taken too long to get rid of the ball here. Did well though to get it to Tim Johnson. Can have a shot here. Tim Johnson goes to Wilson. He's good on the left boot. He's got a player outside who might be able to put this one on the boot. Barry Murphy back to Johnson. Now towards Mendez. Just kick the ball, you would think. No, ball comes to ground. They still have the numbers, Vermont. They just need to get the ball on the boot. John's got it to Johnson. After a long time, Henley goes in and kicks the goal.
Good call.
In fact, it's Kyle Emley who's decided to put it through for the Vermont Football Club. So Vermont's first goal since late in the second term. Vermont 4-9-33. Balwyn 12-17-89. Wayne Brasher shakes his head, and here's Peter Baird and Braden Ingram in special comments.
Frosty, you asked me before about how this affects them. I think mentally it really does. I mean, as we said, they're missing a few players, but in the end, they've got the majority of their list out there. And in terms of mentally, they just haven't brought anything to the table today. And now we talk about the loss earlier in the season. This one they've been completely dismantled, destroyed in the grand final. They seem, they've seemed their own worst enemy today, certainly.
Maddie Vantarakis with some Division 4 scores.
Alrighty, we have South Belgrave leading Park Orchards by 27 points, Canterbury trailing Forest Hill by 58 points, Nuttawading leading Coldstream by 36. We have Ferntree Gully leading Kilsyth by 31 points, and Sylvan leading Surrey Park by 11.
And Jeff Goebbels has taken a marker from the centre clearance just inside the 40-metre arc, and he'll shoot to kick his 5th goal of the afternoon.
He's just been super today, Jeff Goebbels. I mean, I know I'm a big fan of Jeff, but
you are?
He presents all day long, works hard, leads up and down the ground, doubles back, and he's just so strong. And he's such a focus down there that he draws defenders towards him.
Well, he can kick goals from either end. He comes in now against the breeze, thumps it on his boot, makes the goal umpire work a little bit, but he did it all fantastically straight over his head for another major. 5 goals on the board to Jeff Goebbels. He has been a super player all afternoon. He presents well, he kicks straight, and he leads from the front. On the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 13-17-95. The Balwyn Football Club, they got the quick answer. Vermont 4-9-33.
Just going back to what Braden Ingram said there about the psyche, how much this actually hurts the Vermont Football Club. There's 2 teams that are going to meet in the finals this year, and I just don't know how Vermont can change up their game plan to try and something different against Balwyn, because they've tried in the last 3 games and just had no answer to the Tigers whatsoever.
Caritas went up in the ruck and wasn't able to get it to a teammate's advantage. Ends up with Tregear on the outer wing. Barry Murphy went through his hands. He tries to gather the footy now. He has McMahon for company. Gee, back McMahon in a tight situation, but well done on that occasion. Comes out to Barden, and Barden finds Johns, and they're often running through Wilson. Wilson handballs back to Davis, back to Wilson, and now back to Johns. He'll send the ball inside forward 50. Just a hand pass over the top to Millhouse. A high kick towards the top of the goal square. Galino's got no hope on that occasion, but when the ball hits the ground, he might be okay. Ends up, though, with Churgwin, and Fraser and Rod Crow combined in the back pocket. Crow gets a hand pass over the top to Churgwin. Churgwin now towards centre wing. Hogle uncontested. Just waited for the ball on that occasion. Was thumped out of his hands by Barry Murphy, but Barry Murphy probably gave away the free kick in the end, and Hogle will just slowly get up and just lap up some time here as Balwyn celebrate what has been a magnificent victory, a disciplined, team-orientated match. This has been by Balwyn as Sanfilippo marks. The scary thing is, Frosty, is that Jared Wright's still got to come back into this team, and Renwick Watts has got to come back into this team as well.
Absolutely, and you see that they've lost Madison Hardiman for the year as well. Ange Soldatis is out for the year.
Yep. As Stevie Kenner goes long inside, 450. Barker had it thumped away by him from Waller, and he wasn't happy that he wasn't able to take that mark, Luke Barker, and it trickles over the boundary line and out of bounds in the left forward pocket.
The team that are licking their lips, I think, would be Noble Park. They've matched it with Balwyn. They've played them, and I think they're the ones now in the box seat, especially after today's game.
Waller went up uncontested, just stumped it another 10 metres forward to the delight of Bruce Press, the Loft Productions man here today, and it goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. Toss back in. Balwyn just playing out some time now. Waller does exactly the same as what he just did. Did it go over the line the full? It did. So from the boundary throw in, Waller just stumped it over the line on the full. Didn't work the second time, and Broadhurst will take the free kick about 35 metres out from goal. He's tucked up in the pocket. He'll have a shot, Blake Broadhurst. Good side for the right footer. Comes in towards goal. Oh, what a kick. Goal umpire did not move. And Blake Broadhurst puts through his first for the day, his sixth for 2013. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, Balwyn hit triple figures. They go on to 14-17, 101. Vermont 49-33, 11 minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
There's not one facet of play today that I think Vermont have had the wood over Balwyn. Balwyn have out-muscled them, they've outrun them, they've outsmarted them as well around the contest, and they've just played with a lot more flair and passion, and just their tackling pressure's been fantastic as well. I'd be interested to get a tackle count from Grant Campbell for Choose Tap, but they've just been absolutely super in every facet of the play.
They've had 51 effective tackles for the game and also 8 inside 50 tackles.
Taylor Gilchrist scrambled a kick out of the centre clearance there, got it out towards his teammate in McMahon. He had support running in there in Armstrong. Kicks the ball up towards the half-forward line, charging out. Lukey Barker takes the mark. In fact, it's the Goebbels on the far side, and the man of the moment. Surely he's going to have a shot from here, Peter Baird. He's about 50 metres out, but distance won't definitely be an issue for him.
Oh, he's a fantastic. He's just a great kick at goal as well. Head over the ball, kicks through it, doesn't lean back too far, and it's just a picture-perfect textbook set shot on goal.
Looking for goal number 6 for today.
You'll let me down now.
I'm going to back him in from here. Comes in now. Leans over the football, kicks it to the top of the goal square. It might just hold up in the breeze. It drifts through for one behind. So at the 12-minute mark of the final term out here at SEN Park, on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, Balwyn are 14-18, 102. Vermont are 4-9-33.
Some interesting scores coming through from Mulgrave and Donvale. Mulgrave 66 lead Donvale 33. So Donvale's season has really capitulated in the second half of 2013. So not good signs there for the Vales, as Sanfilippo and Kenner work in tandem. Kenner thumps it inside 50. Big fly from Murray over the top. Almost held the mark. Or did he hold the mark? I think the umpire's paid. He certainly paid something towards ball, and it might be for Murray. And he will go back from 25 metres out, right side for a right footer, but a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, he did pay the mark, Ben. It was a very nice one indeed. He just came over the top, and they've taken a couple of those now today, Balwyn. They have been through the air, and they've just used it sensationally, and pretty much nothing has gone wrong for them today.
Balwyn currently lead by 69 points. This to make it 75 points. Murray towards goal, kicks his second goal, and it is a Tiger Fiesta, Peter Baird, out here at the Balwyn SEN Park. 15-18, 108 Balwyn, 4-9-33 are the Eagles. 75 points on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. We've played 13.5 minutes. Frosty, if I would have said to you pre-game that Balwyn would be 75 points up halfway through the last quarter, you'd be laughing at me, surely.
I certainly would, and I know you're very keen on that word fiesta, but it's a rampage of Tigers out there at the moment, Braden Ingram.
Yeah, look, and I'll tell you what's key now, percentage. This is really going to affect Vermont's percentage, and where you finish second or third, not too much difference, but it certainly is going to affect it now. Noel Park should go to that second place today.
Ball back in the middle of the ground. Taylor got the knockout, and then he went after it again on the bottom of the pack. There is Tom Schneider. He's had a few touches this afternoon, but not as effective as he usually is, Peter Baird.
No, he hasn't been able to break from the contest like we'd like to see from Tom Schneider, and although he's probably had 20-odd touches, he just little effect. Like that one there, this is another one.
Add another one to that tally. Left foot was half smothered. Murray was wrapped up in a tackle by Daniel Mendez, and we'll have a bounce.
Sorry, Braden. Northring are doing a ripping job at keeping us up to date. They've just kicked away against Doncaster East. They're now 25 points in front of the 25-minute mark of the final term.
Thud.
Umpire throws the ball up. It comes straight down towards Barton direction. Oh, he nearly got his head ripped off, Tom Schneider, and he'll receive the free kick in the middle of the ground. So you'd expect him to get things moving relatively quickly. He does so now. Oh, the kick was intended for Barry Murphy. That was smothered, but he comes in after it again, gets it. Little handball out, finds Vermont surging forward to the top of the goal square. Who's going to be the fly? Millhouse is there. He had to beat 3 Tigers to do so. Fraser mops up nicely, gets it across to Murray, got it across to Harris. They're doing it in a series of handballs. Hogel's drifted down. He gets a handball over the top. That was good. Stevie Kenner, usually cute skills, and that was no exception. Got it to Taylor, to Rennie Gilchrist, who got it to Taylor Gilchrist, who kicks the ball up towards the half-forward line. It was over the head of Goebbels. Barker comes charging out. He nearly got dispossessed. He nearly could have been pink for holding the ball. Then Waller, nicely done, got it to Taylor. Goes backwards towards the Henley direction. He has time to mop things up here, Nathan Henley. He's still got it. He's still got the ball. He's screaming for people to come down and approach him. Justin Van Nunen might have to be the target here from full forward. Goes long towards that direction. The big man there, and Houghton put his body on the line. And now here comes Tregear on the left boot. Surges the ball forward. There he is. Unattended in the goal square is the man, Jeff Goebbels. You wouldn't believe it. 20 metres out from goal, and he'll go to put through his 6th goal surely. It's crossed down boundary side to Billy Vickers, thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Yes, boys, looking very ominous down here, and we're just getting the pitter-patter on Gav, Casey and my shoulders right now, so it's going to be a wet finish down here, boys.
Not a good sign, because probably them two are the best dressed men in the Eastern Football League.
So Goebbels for goal number 6 comes in. He wants to kick this one onto Whitehorse Road, and he does just that. Straight over the goal umpire's head for Vermont's 15th goal and hits their 16th goal, and Goebbels 6. 16-18, 114 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Balwyn plays Vermont 4-9-33.
The other concerning thing for Vermont, Frosty, I think, is by the end of this game, they'll have conceded probably 200 more points than what Balwyn have for the year, and it'll be a similar margin to Noble Park. So their defence now, I mean, not just this game, it was 100 before this game, 100 points more conceded, is beginning to become an issue.
It is, but Balwyn have just got so many options up forward. That's where their defence has unravelled today, because you can't continue to match 2 or 3 defenders like that, because they'll just go to the others, and that's what Balwyn have had done all afternoon.
Gee, big Scotty Houghton doing some uncontested work at the bottom of the pack there. Did a nice job when he forces the ball forward here as the rain patters down here at Balwyn SEN Park. Murray taps it back towards Taylor Gilchrist. He'll unload from 60 metres out. Big bomb towards goal, just off to the right-hand side and through for a minus score. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, it's an 82-point margin. Balwyn 16-19, 1-15. Vermont 4-9-33 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Around the grounds, Heathmont 94 have defeated the Glen Waverley Hawks by 31 points, and Knox only by 11 over East Burwood halfway through the final term.
And the Western Bulldogs have beaten GWS by 4 points as well, so nearly a win for GWS there. Gav Casey will be very happy as Justin Van Nunen gets crunched in a tackle. Holding the ball is the result. True centre wing position, far side. So it's party time. Ball's in the arms of Charlie Hendry. Such a terrific in and under player, Charlie Hendry.
It's just interesting. If Balwyn kick another 3 goals, I can't remember the last time Vermont were beaten by 100 points.
It'll be their lowest score of the season too. The Vermont Football Club only 4 goals, but they get a chance to go forward again. The kick was scrambly and it went over the boundary line and out of bounds. Far side of the ground, true centre wing position.
Knocks out to a 17-point lead over East Burwood, so you think they'd be home. And North Ringwood have defeated Doncaster East 113-89.
The umpire to bring it back in now. So the big man Houghton at the back got the knockdown, and Emily was the first one to meet it. Going in there was Hendry as well. He's over the football. Mullet goes in to lend a hand as well to get the ball out, but the umpire will bounce it on the edge of the centre square.
Nice to see the Akira Urgent Care boundary riders have got into the officials' little box there, in the middle of the 2 coaches' boxes. Nice work, boys.
Taylor goes up in the ruck, knocked it over the back of his head. Going to have another stoppage. Some choose tap stats, Grant Campbell.
Inside 50s in the last quarter, 12-6 in favour of Balwyn, and they haven't dropped off their intensity. Their tackle count is 10-6.
Well, Dan Donati will be happy about that. So 19 minutes gone here in the final quarter. Ball in the arm of Charlie Hendry. Guess who? He's been wrapped up in a tackle and he got pushed to the ground. So free kick for in the back. A little bit ticky-touch with that one, Braden.
Yeah, I think so. But, I mean, the umpires have been pretty good today. They've been pretty lenient and let the game go. So I can accept one when it's at this stage of the game.
O'Regan got the handball away. It's in the middle of the ground here. It's got to bounce favourably for Harris. But Taylor Gilchrist came in, got it out to Hogle, who goes out further wide. That was good play to the big man Horton. Good tackle there by Davis to create the spill. Now Vermont might have a bit of a run. It was intended for Galeno. And the ball went away from him. But there's a free kick off the play against Charlie Hendry, which will be going to Tom Schneider for in the back. So Schneider gets the ball now. Got to go straight. The captain asked for it. The captain gets it. Mullet has it in the centre of SEN Park wants to switch the play now, does so out towards the David Barton direction. He has a little bit of time. He's got some teammates in support as well. Dean Waller's come down from fullback. He's turned himself into a fair bit of trouble here. Somehow got a handball away to Alice. He goes on the run, kicked it up towards the half-forward line. Here comes the big X. Xavier Barry Murphy kicks it inside forward 50. Daniel Mendez is at the back of the pack. He's a clever footballer. He gets it on the second bite. He swings around. What a goal that is!
Nice.
That is one of the best goals you will see. Daniel Mendez, super play. And he's been good all afternoon. Probably one of Vermont's best players as well. And that is as good as it gets, Braden Ingram.
Yeah, well, look, probably the best thing from Vermont all day. He tucked in against the pocket on the left and wiggled it through. And, I mean, that's what they've struggled to find today, goal kickers. But it's good to see at least them bring a bit of excitement there. That's a very nice one. Tucked in probably 20 metres out against the pocket. And if you know, on the cherry right end of the right radio dial, tucked up close, but did a very nice job.
Inside out lefty.
That's right, yeah, you don't see them too often.
Great call, BWS, as the ball's back in the middle. And Taylor tapped it down towards the teammates' advantage. Hendry was there, did well to extract the footy from the contested situation. Ball comes to back. Barry Murphy's hand pass was a little hot for Davidson, but he was up to the task. He's running around at Truce and a half back, and he goes out wide and finds a teammate. And they'll look to switch it around. The kick was looking for Tim Johnson. Strong mark in the end. Looks like a downfield free kick against the ball inside. And will go another 25-metre advancement will be given to Tim Johnson of Vermont.
Grant Campbell not happy with that one.
Soft. Soft as Carlton last night, that one.
Johnson finds Barton in the middle, and Barton goes out wide to Simon Taylor. And he chips it further field to Galeno, just over his head. Umpire said play on, he wasn't interfered with. Van Noonan, a rare touch for him this afternoon. Left foot towards Caritas. Good mark by the young man. And he takes a mark right forward pocket and looked to put through his first ever senior goal for the Vermont Football Club.
Young man, still got a long way, a lot to learn about EFL footy, playing senior footy, but he's done all right. He's tried hard this afternoon.
Caritas, right forward pocket, consolation goal for the Eagles. Just off to the left. And through for a minor score. Vermont 5-10-40. They go on to Balwyn 16-19, 115. A 75-point ball game out here at SEN Park. Make sure you stay tuned for the BGC Bayswater Post Match show with Barry Kotz.
He's back.
And the team from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on 98.1 FM.
Kenner goes short to Harris. So still deep in their defensive 40 arc of the Tigers. Kick goes out wide for Hendry. So in the left back pocket, Charlie Hendry is asked to move on with it now. Nice long kick. It was a long kick, but it went straight down Taylor's throat. The big man for Vermont took the mark. He goes off now inside towards the Tim Johnson direction. Got a little handball away to Mullet. Arches it back. He loves him from outside 50. Mullet thumps it on his boot, but straight down the throat of Big Rod Crow, who stands at the last line of defence and in position A. Takes the mark, surges it out wide. Big Taylor went up for a fly at the fall of the ball. It's Broadhurst. Snaps it around the body. It was a clever kick too, and he spotted up a teammate very nicely. And now across the half-forward line into the middle of the ground. O'Regan needed the ball to sit nicely for him. Barton comes in for Vermont. He copped one over the shoulder. He's able to take off with it too. Chris Barton goes up towards the Taylor direction across half forward. Takes the mark. Van Union's all by himself. Taylor handballed it straight into the man on the mark in Alan Murray, who got the handball away to Charlie Hendry. They had players everywhere. Vermont inside forward 50 then as well. Ryan McMahon squeezes a kick up towards the wing position, and the good mark has been taken up there by Armstrong. Keeps the ball moving inside forward 50. Oh, this is just too easy. Broadhurst got the receive from Ben Taylor, who slams it home, and Balwyn got the answer, and that's his second goal of the afternoon. Great bit of end-to-end football there, Peter Baird, as we cross the 23-minute mark of the final term. Balwyn 17-19, 121 are out to an 81-point lead against Vermont. 5-10-40. You wouldn't read about it.
BWS, I think that one play sums up the game. Simon Taylor, tallest man on the ground, handballs into the man on the mark.
Doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. And then Balwyn illustrated how they've played all day. Used the ball, run free, and they had open players like they have for this entire match. For the entire 4 quarters, Vermont have not played the man-on-man footy that Chris Barlow's asked, and that's pretty much sums up why they've lost today and been very poor.
Important win for Ferntree Gully over Kilsyth today. They win by 19 points, and Knox are 23 points clear of East Burwood. So you think the Falcons have that one wrapped up as Kenner's beautiful kick finds Hogle, who's really presented well in this second half. A good game for Jaden Hogle. He finds Chergwin at the half-forward flank. Chergwin squares it up to Taylor Gilchrist. Mark's right on true centre wing position at SEN Park. The kick looking for Barker. Got it. Beautiful kick. In fact, it's Goebbels again. They look very similar haircuts, I've noticed, between Barker and Goebbels. But a little bit more lanky is Goebbels.
Barker wears his socks up, Goebbels wears his socks down.
And Goebbels will go back and look to put through his 7th goal of the afternoon. He's been a superstar. And so make sure you stay tuned after this game. We'll have plenty of post-game interviews and plenty of around-the-ground scores with Matty and Will. There's Goebbels for goal number 7. Unloads from 40 metres out. And the goal umpire did not move. And it has been Jeff Goebbels' day out here at Balwyn Park. He boots 7. And Balwyn go on to 18-19, 127. Vermont 5-10-40. Peter Baird, Braden Ingram, an 87-point ball game.
Yeah, well, Ben, I mean, Goebbels has just been the man up forward all day. Not only, I mean, the goals he's kicked, but presented, he's kicked 7 threes, had 10 shots on goal. And, you know, just his strong hands, he's created options, but it's been the players who have supported him. I think Broadhurst in there, you can chuck Lukey Barker. They've almost provided the sort of decoy run for him, and that, you know, they've taken some of the other better defenders, and he's been able to just have a field day. And I think, I mean, they work as a team, that ball and forward line. They're just sensational.
Taylor goes up against Turner. There was a little bit of holding going on in that ruck contest, and it'll be a free kick to Turner. So, free kick against the big man Taylor. Hasn't had the greatest of afternoons. Handball comes out wide now to Harris. On the left boot, he almost got tackled, but got boot to ball. Kick up towards the half-forward line. Chris Barton will be the first one to meet it. He's got Stevie Kenner right on his hammer. Tries to keep the ball in. Eventually, it paddles over and out of bounds.
Mulgrave just hanging on for a 10-point win against Don Vale, so the Vale's coming back in the end, but still another defeat for Don Vale. I reckon that's about 4 or 5 losses in a row.
If the score ends up as it is now, this will be Balwyn's biggest loss since round 18, 2010.
Vermont's
Vermont's biggest loss. Coincidentally, that day it was against Balwyn at this ground by 84 points.
Series of handballs sees it in the arms of Mullet for Vermont across the half-forward line. He was put under a lot of pressure. Good tackling there by Liam Fraser, and the ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds on the full with Jared Goldsack to bring it back.
And just looking at some of your scores there, Pete, the last 6 games, Balwyn have, including this one, Balwyn have won all of them. So their dominance over this side. You talk about that mentality and that control they have over Vermont. It's certainly on show, and you know, creates issues when you go into finals later in the year.
Well, Goldsack went to Fraser, went towards the Churgwin direction, couldn't quite hold the mark. So Mullet now has it for Vermont across the half-forward line. They go inside now, and Galino's all by himself about 30 metres out. So he'll have a shot on goal. Will Adrian Galino? He hasn't kicked a goal today. He had a minor score earlier in the day. So consolation goals are coming up in this final term for the Vermont Football Club. We're into junk time. It's the 27-minute mark of this final term. And he'll be looking to reduce the margin back to 81 points. So Adrian Galino getting the Bronx cheers from the Balwyn faithful. It's been a ripper crowd out here today, and they'll let him know about it if he can't put it through, but he looks measured in his approach, and it's a neat looking kick, and it goes straight over the goal umpire's head. That's his first goal of the afternoon, and it's Vermont Football Club's 6th goal. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, they are 6-10-46, trailing by 81 points. Balwyn 18-19, 127.
Been certainly a big win for Balwyn today, no doubt about that, and we'll be all over it in the post-match throughout the day. And 4 men, I should say, will be all over it. And all the results across the EFL today will be Barry Cotts, Paul Mercedes, Mitchell Wood and Sam Gaston will be on the BGC Bayswater Post Match show. Stick around for that one. Ryan Mullet might. He'll be driving home. Listen to 98.1 today. He gets a hand pass out to Ellis. This is all at the true centre half back. Henley works in tandem now with Mullet, who streams through the middle of the ground. Ryan Wilson, his handball was smothered by Murray. That's the second time Murray smothered a handball in the last 10 minutes. He gets it back from Milhughes, and just always composed and cool under pressure of the Tigers. Harris works in tandem back. McMahon almost had his head taken off. Umpire said play on. Milhughes got Murray out wide with a hand pass. Uses him now. Murray feints the kick and chips it short up towards half forward. Hogle presents nicely again up at half forward. He looks for players inside 450. Here comes Goebbels and Barker in front. Strong mark by O'Regan in the end. He cut off Goebbels, who was going for goal number 8. O'Regan almost gives a tap of an apology in the end. And from almost directly in front, Ben Turner, you're right, BWS will go back and look to put through his first.
You could tell it was Ben Turner then from the fluorescent green boot standing out in these dark conditions out here at Balwyn Park at the moment.
Full-time Knox, 78 defeated East Burwood by 25 points. As Ben Turner on the siren kicks for goal and just ruins it big time, but it goes through for minor score. Balwyn would not care one iota. because on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard at full time of this match between Balwyn and Vermont, the Tigers 18-20, 128 have defeated Vermont 6-10-46, an 82-point ball game out here at SEN Park. Guys, in special comments, before we head down to Dan Donati and the team down there, it's certainly been a magnificent day for the Balwyn Football Club, and if there was ever a statement to be made in Division 1, Balwyn made it today.
Well, in every aspect of the game, we'll go through, I think, the statistics with Grant Campbell pretty soon, but every aspect today, Frosty, they just dominated, whether it be tackles, possession, marks inside 50, inside 50s was just ridiculous. They tore them to shreds today, didn't they? And look, Frosty, just, as was said, they just made a statement.
Oh, they did. They were absolutely fantastic. They just dominated Vermont, as they have, and it's now 8 in a row Balwyn victories over Vermont. So they've really got the wood over this side, and leading into finals, that's a huge obstacle. Chris Barlow has to get his team up to mentally prepare for a team that's really had the wood over them in recent times.
And look, I mean, there were plenty of stars today, especially for Balwyn. I mean, there were a couple of players of Vermont who tried hard, but we'll come back to that. We're going to cross down boundary side to our... No, we're just going to wait a second. I think we've got the one of the song in a sec here. Benny, we might grab someone afterwards. But as I was saying, Frosty, plenty of players for Balwyn. I mean, it was a team effort across the entire board. I mean, there were players that stood out, but in the end, it was a 22-man effort.
It was, and it wasn't through the dominance of their midfield, which is the way I thought they would win this game this afternoon. Guys like Ryan McMahon, Ben Harris, Shane Tregear, Stevie Kenner, Rennie Gilchrist, Taylor Gilchrist. It wasn't those guys that really dominated the game. It was more some of their unsung heroes. Guys like Jared Churgwin, he was fantastic down back today. Christian Sanfilippo was awesome. And then just the presence of guys like Jeff Goebbels and Luke Barker up forward. Just absolutely fantastic. And they were just a class above today. And Vermont, they've got a long, long way to go if they think they can challenge this Balwyn Football Club.
Well, our Kira Urgent Care boundary riders now duo, so I'm going to cross down to them to one of the victorious Balwyn players.
That's right, boys. We do have the star of the show today, Jeff Goebbels. 7 goals today, mate. A fantastic effort from the team and a real statement today.
Yeah, it was good. Good to have a good win today against a quality opposition in Vermont. But yeah, the boys were just unbelievable in the midfield today. It was just made the forward jobs pretty easy today.
Most definitely, and a lot of hype and build-up going into the game. It's a huge result, and also just a really good 4-quarter performance from the boys. Everyone played their part, and you just got through that very clinically.
Yeah, we did. I think it started in the defence. The defence was unbelievable, led by Rod Crow back there. We always say defend first and attack, so yeah, we had a good forward quarter game today.
We're just going to throw you up to the boys.
No, we'll leave it there, Billy. Thanks for your time today, Jeff, and we'll catch up with you soon, mate. Balwyn star Jeff Goebbels joining us there. The boys are about to go in and sing the song. Don't want to derive them of that. Goebbels with 7 goals, all thanks to his beautiful right boot today, Braden.
Just interesting, Dan Donati pulled his players in and really grabbed them together, and I assume would have said, great win, boys, but this is only round 12. It was a long way still to go because they were sensational today, and I thought it may have been a similar thing, but for maybe the Vermont, Barlow would have pulled them in, but I think that might be a closed door sort of thing, and they just want to, get off the ground as soon as possible, Frosty.
It certainly has been a ripping effort by the Balwyn Football Club today. They come off to applause from the mighty Tigers faithful, who've certainly come out and supported the team in droves today. Just repeating that final score, Balwyn 18-20, 128, defeating Vermont 6-10-46, an 82-point lead, an 82-point win. In fact, it should be for the mighty Tigers. Don't go anywhere because we'll have all the final scores from around EFL grounds, and of course we'll have all the final scores from EFL grounds and some interviews with players from the Balwyn Football Club as well. Let's cross down to the Balwyn rooms now because we're about to hear that mighty Balwyn song, which will be sung for the 12th time in season 2013. 12 and zip are the Tigers, and they'll be singing this one with plenty of gusto. It certainly means a lot as Rod Crow just makes his way into the Balwyn huddle now. Repeating the scores, Balwyn 18-20, 128, defeating Vermont 6-10-46. Here on EFL Gameday on 98 FM and EFL.org.au. Here's the song.
Hey. Whether the odds be great or be small, Balwyn was bring the win overall. All
That was a song sung with plenty of gusto, and the Mighty Tigers getting over the line today by 82 points, 18-20, 128 to 610-46. Grant Campbell, let's cross to you now to get a stats wrap, all thanks to the Yarra Valley Water Be Smart Choose Tap.
Well, Balwyn basically dominated, virtually won every category. Vermont did win the hit-outs, but Balwyn dominated every other aspect. Centre clearances, they won 17-10. Kicks, 211 to 142. Contested possessions, 140 to 125. Uncontested possessions, 219 to 166. Inside 50s, 63 to 37. Marks inside 50, 18 to 7. And just an indication of how Vermont stuffed around with the ball and over-handballed. They had 3 more kicks than handballs for the match. Balwyn had 53 more kicks than handballs.
It's like being at an AFL game and just hearing the supporters say, "Kick it, kick it!" Sitting in the MCC members, you always seem to get that. And we had a little bit of that today in the EFL Gameday commentary team. Looking forward to chatting to some of those Balwyn players who've been absolutely outstanding today and have been throughout the 2013 season. Peter Baird.
Oh, that was a really super effort today. I just don't know, having watched them dismantle what a lot of people think is the second best team in the competition this afternoon, who's actually got the game plan that can actually match it with Balwyn now, because that day we went and watched them on Queen's birthday weekend against Noble Park. They were challenged, but they had the adaptability that day to change up their game plan and come again and overtake the Bulls. I think they've gone to another level since then, watching them this afternoon.
Unbelievable.
Their last 3 weeks of football, they've won by a combined margin now of 283 points. That's an average winning margin in excess of 93 points a game. That's awesome. And that's a stat that would have every other First Division team absolutely quaking in their boots at the moment, Braden Ingram.
What does Chris Barlow do here, Frosty? I mean, they're... obviously, today... It's a horrible match. Your boys didn't do really anything that was asked of them. They didn't play man-on-man footy. That they couldn't win the ball in at the contests. He has some real concerns because we've mentioned there's a couple of players out, but it's only a couple. I mean, they had, I would say, fairly close. I know they're missing Froud, I know they're missing Ross, but they had a fairly good side today, I thought, on the park. And I mean, is it simply a mental thing that they just couldn't come to perform? But if it is, I don't get that. I mean, you're playing the number 1 side on their home patch and you're here to prove a point.
Yeah, I don't know where to here now for Vermont. I mean, I reckon the scars of this day could go down and haunt the Vermont Football Club for the rest of the year.
Glen Waverley Hawks style?
Quite possibly. I mean, we saw the Hawks last year fall over in that grand final. This day here could potentially derail the season for the Vermont Eagles.
They're allowed to have 1 loss, Pete.
It's not just a loss. They were absolutely dismantled, and I can tell you now.
But you were saying that their season's going to fall apart after one loss today.
I said their assault at a premiership could fall apart after today. And I can tell you, every other coach, particularly Mick Fogarty and Dennis Knight in Division 1, will be getting a video of today's game and watching the way Balwyn absolutely dismantled that Vermont side.
So, BWS, do you reckon...
It's almost like a textbook now on how to beat the Eagles.
Do you reckon that this game, they'll just put it aside and they'll get over? Is that what you're saying?
I think they'll definitely get over it because they have to. They have to move on to next week, and they need to move on to get in the right position to be playing finals football at the right time of the year, which we know tradition, history goes by, that's when Vermont really do bring their A game. They're going to be shattered with their performance today. It was a dismal effort. It was hopeless, and they're not going to be happy with it at all. But I'm certainly not going to write off a side who's had a great year so far because they got towed up by a side who I don't think will lose a game for the rest of the year.
I can tell you right now, after watching them today, they cannot win the premiership. They cannot beat Balwyn on their day.
Balwyn have got their measure. I don't know if I'd come out and say right now they can't win the premiership now, but they've got their measure, BWS. They've lost their last 7 against them, and they've been high-scoring games. I mean, the grand final, we saw it last year, they got towed up. I mean, looking at some scores on the EFL website before, a number of times Balwyn have scored in excess of 120 against them. So this is not just a one-off. I know it's a one-off in terms of the season, but I mean, I think we need to take our time and not. I think Frosty, that's gone a bit far to say they can't win the premiership. It is one game, but there's certainly some issues Chris Barlow has to address.
I hope Bruce Press from the Loft Productions has got the record button on, because you can go back and you can play it on that last Saturday in September. Vermont cannot win the premiership right now.
Well, we'll certainly hit the record button. I know Barry Cotts will have that all over in the Radio Eastern studios. Gentlemen, let's start to have a look at our Furniture Gully Holden player of the day, 3, 2 and 1, because we're starting to run out of time. We could talk about how good Balwyn was and how much of a disappointment Vermont was for a long, long time, and Peter Baird knows all about the cows coming home, no doubt about that one. But we'll start to have a look at our Ferntree Gully Holden best players on the day, 3, 2 and 1. And also we'll probably start with our Trojan workhorse today, the player that epitomised Trojan work tools, the relentless and tough, not necessarily the best, but in and under all today, and worked tirelessly. And I think between Braden Ingram or Frosty Baird, I'm sure you would have come up with one, Braden.
Yeah, look, this afternoon there was a couple of players you probably could have given it to. In the end, I gave it to a man who, as Frosty said during the telecast, he's known as the Glove. He wore Ryan Mullet just like that today. He was sensational. Mullet ended up having about 20-odd touches, but in the end, very few of them were actually effective. He didn't use the ball that well, and that was because of the pressure that Marco Regan applied. So this afternoon, I thought, not only that, certainly had his head over it, and it was, it was very good, and probably unlucky not to get in my votes, but he was the Trojan workhorse.
Very good choice, Braden Ingram. Marco Regan, the star Balwyn midfielder, wins our Trojan workhorse for the day. Gets a Trojan workhorse toolbox just full of absolute goodies. Got no idea what's in there, but I'm sure it's going to be absolutely fantastic.
One of the unsung heroes for the Balwyn Football Club.
He's a star. Regan. No doubt about that one. Let's have a look now at the Ferntree Gully Holden player of the day, 3, 2 and 1. Let's start with Frosty Baird.
I gave one vote today, and he probably is unlucky to only get one vote, but I gave one vote to Christian Sanfilippo. He was fantastic, particularly in the first half. Faded a little bit in the second half, but his commitment and his desire to do the team thing, rebound off half-back, showed some great dash. Sanfilippo got one vote for me. 2 votes for me for a player that just got better and better the longer the game went on. He's a small player, but geez, he's hard and tough, and that was Jared Churgwood, number 19. He was super today for the Balwyn Football Club, and 3 votes today. One of my favourites in the Eastern Football League. 3 votes to Jeff Goebbels.
Very nice work from you, Peter Baird. Goebbels with 3 votes for the afternoon, and Christian Sanfilippo 1, Jared Churgwood 2. Let's have a look at Braden Ingram's votes.
Yeah, mine are very similar. Today I gave 1 to Jared Churgwood, filled off halfback. He was very good, used the ball well. 2 to Sanfilippo. He other than my 3 votes was sensational. I mean, he took a big hanger as well. He used it well. He was all about. He had his head over the footy, and 3 votes. Well, look, when you kick 7-3 every day of the week, you get my 3 votes. Jeff Goebbels. Not only did he, he kicked those goals, but just up forward, he was such a presence, and they were almost scared to go to him in the end. So 3 votes to Jeff Goebbels. Ben Warren-Smith, how do you see your Ferntree Gully Holden player of the day votes?
I tell you what, it was pretty tough to work out who the vote getters were today for the Balwyn Football Club, because they all deserve a pat on the back for the professional display that they put on for everybody out here at SEN Park today. I'm going to start off by giving 1 vote to Big Rod Crow, who I thought was terrific down back. He filled the hole nicely. He is a general. He played in a position in front of Van Noonan for most of the afternoon where he was in that hole where he made it very difficult for Van Noonan to get around him, and with the ball falling short, he was able to get there and put his body on the line at the right time. So I was really, really impressed with his game today, Rod Crow. 2 votes. I agree with you, Braden. Sanfilippo. He was inspirational during that middle part of the game. Actually, he puts his head over the ball. He's got clean skills, and that hanger,
dash today as well.
That hanger, he's got the spark. He's an X-factor player as well. So 2 votes to him, and of course, hats off go to Jeff Goebbels today. By a mile, the best player on the ground.
Great work from you guys, and Jeff Goebbels would get my 3 votes as well. I give 2 to Christian Sanfilippo. And I also gave 1 to, I thought Jaden Hogle worked pretty hard at the end of the game, but Jeff Goebbels is our Ferntree Gully Holden player of the day. Unanimously voted best on ground, because he kicked 7 goals, but he also just did a lot of hard work around as well.
Oh, just in that first quarter as well, that first 15 minutes of the game, he was absolutely super. He hadn't got a goal on the board yet, but just his work across the half-forward line and setting up some play, he set the tone from a very early on.
Let's cross to Will Taylor with some stats, some all the around-the-ground scores. Wilbur, what are some of the scores that have mattered the most today?
Yeah, well, I'll work my way from Division 4 up to Division 1. We'll start off in Division 4. South Belgrade 17-11-113. Park Orchard 13-14-92. 21-point win there for the Saints there. Nada Whiting 17-16-118. They demolished Coldstream 8-9-57. So a 61-point win there for Nada Whiting. Ferntree Gully 9-22-76 defeated Tilsyth 8-9-57. So a 19-point win there for Ferntree Gully. Sylvan 13-10-88. They've defeated Surrey Park 10-10-70, an 18-point win there for Sylvan. In Division 3, Heathmont 14-10-94 defeated Glen Waverley 8-15 15-63, 31-point win there for Heathmont. Chermside Park, 15-10, 100 defeated Templestowe, 12-9, 81, 19-point win there for Chermside Park. I've just got a Division 4 score here as well. Forest Hill, 22-26, 158 defeated Canterbury, 11-3, 69, and 89-point win there for Forest Hill. Doncaster, 13-15, 93 defeated Ringwood, 12-10, 82, 11-point win there for Doncaster in Division 3. Baronia won by 98 points over Whitehorse. Mitcham by 32 over the Basin, and One Turn South 87-point win over Warrandyte. We'll go through Division 2 quickly. Bayswater 55-point win over Waverley. Montrose by 29 over Croydon. Moorooba by 14 over Upper Gully, and Mulgrave defeated Donvale by 10, and Northrend by 24 over Donny East.
I just told you there, Will, because we've got Dan Donati. We'll quickly ask Dan a couple of questions. Dan, congratulations on the win today. If I told you that you were going to beat Vermont by 82 points, you'd take that every day of the week.
Oh, absolutely. Look. To be honest, I was pretty confident coming here today. We've done a lot of things right. We've had a good preparation with the teams that we played, and I was pretty confident we'd win, and we win well today. But the pressure we brought, the tackling pressure, and look, it was a great 22-man performance, I suppose.
Certainly was. And tell us about, we gave Jeff Goebels unanimously best on ground today. 7 goals. We didn't get it for just his goal kicking presented all day.
Mate, his work rate's enormous. Hence why he's had 4, maybe 5 opponents today, because he just burns them out. They can't go with him for it. And that's his strength. He'll get them eventually, if it's the last quarter sometimes. But his work rate's enormous. He's a very popular lad down there too, mate, but he's a star. He plays on this ground. I got told when I came here a year and a half ago, there's no such thing as centre forward. It's made a liar of everyone.
Yeah. What I was really impressed today, Dan, is the discipline of the side is second to none. They know their structures, they know what game they have to go out there and play, and they stick to it.
Yeah, they listen, they learn, and they've developed it over a year and a half, I suppose. It hasn't happened overnight. We're a little bit up and down last year. But they're extremely disciplined side, and when it's time to switch on, there's a little bit of layerising every now and again when you're up by 80 points against other sides. But against a good side, they stuck at it all day today, and they were great.
Christian Sanfilippo, Danny, it's a spark. He had a couple of things last year, but this year he seems to have taken that other step, and today, other than Goebbels, he was great.
Chris was our most improved player last year. He's probably the most improved player in the competition. Mate, he's a star. He's a lock. He's one of the first blokes I pick every week, whether it's on the half-back flank or whether it's on the wing or whether you give him a defensive job or whatever it is that he does. His disposal at times can let him down. It's about the only thing that he works really hard on. But he's courageous, he jumps back, he takes a great grab, and he probably had his 25 today from half-back. He was fantastic.
And Dan, another player that was alongside Christian Sanfilippo in your defence today that I thought was absolutely super, I gave him 2 votes, was Jared Churgwood. He's not the biggest player in your defence, but he's a really critical part of that defence now, just the hardness and toughness he gives you.
Yeah, very, very important player, Churgy. He hits the ground, he bounces straight back up. He cuts a lot of balls off, does a lot of grunt work. He played on Gelino today. He kicked the goal late, but didn't do much else outside that. Really, really important player for us, Churgy. He takes a small forward every week, which is a really important role, but he runs off, gets the ball himself. No, he's a little star, and he's only young too.
Dan, fantastic win today, but we all know it's only July and there's still a little bit to go in the season. Best of luck for the rest of the season.
Just before you go, Dan, what did you say to the players in that group there? We know you had them all huddled together, very tight after the game. We were speculating as to what might have been said. What was actually said?
I said basically exactly what Ben said just 1 second ago. It's only round 12. At the end of the day, these are great. It stacks up with W. It gives us a 3-game lead, but we'll play them again in finals. It's not a final. Let's not act like it's a final. It's a great win. We've got another 6 games to go before the finals. That's exactly what I said.
Beautiful. Congratulations, Dan. Thanks very much for joining us here on EFL Gameday. Certainly do appreciate his time. We'll quickly do a whip around because it is 5 o'clock and we have to get back to Barry Cotts and the team back in the Radio Eastern studios. Let's say thanks to our Akira Urgent Care boundary riders, Gav Casey, the best dressed man in the EFL Media Team.
Very
thanks,
slow.
mate.
Yeah, trying to bring some style to the broadcast, if only being an appearance. But it's been a great effort by Balwyn. They've shown that they're the best as of now. Let's see if Vermont can come back.
And also a man who joined you today, all thanks to Akira Urgent Care, was Billy Vickers, probably the second best dressed man in the EFL
Nice
Media
gloves
team.
too, Billy.
Looking very nice. Thanks, Billy.
I try, boys. I try to make this venue a bit more classier, but absolutely fantastic. Balwyn answered all the questions today, guys, so they are the real deal. And just amazing to watch.
You're in the middle of Burundari. Shouldn't have to find too hard to find class around here. Very nice part of the world is the Balwyn. Let's head to our stats man, Grant Campbell, back, the number 1 stats man in the business, doing a magnificent job as always. Great work, Soupy.
The 4 matches I've seen have all been thrashing, so next time you want to see a one-sided game, give me a call.
We'll go straight to you. Great work from you, Grant Campbell, and also great work from Will Taylor. We'll say goodbye to you and we'll quickly hear those Division 1 final scores.
Yeah, let's have a look at them. Of course, the radio game, 82-point win there to Balwyn over Vermont. Knox by 25 points over East Belwood. South Croydon have defeated Lilydale by 26 points.
Woof.
Blackburn have defeated Scoresby by 21. Norwood to defeat Eastring by 64 and Noel Park by 31 over Roeville.
Great win for Blackburn, their first win in a very long time.
I picked them to them, wrapped.
Yeah, great work, BWS. Great work as well. Matty van der Ark is working beautifully with Will today. Thanks for your work around the grounds.
Oh, it was a pleasure, as it always is on EFL Gameday Saturday.
Great work, Matty, and also great work, Braden Ingram hosting Pregame today, and some very special comments. Great work from you, mate.
Yeah, thanks, BWS. Loved it.
And yes, my name's Ben Waterworth, and a very good
yeah, see, it's time to go, isn't it?
Very good evening as well to Peter Baird, who's always very, very special for us. We saw a damn good football side today.
We saw the best in the business, mate, and they'll win the premiership.
There you have it, Peter Baird at 5:02 on a Saturday afternoon, declaring that one. And Ben Warren-Smith, great work from you today, mate. Akira EFL Sunday tomorrow morning.
Very much looking forward to it. Braden Ingram, Ray Baird, The Fossil, and Wayne Brasher will be having a great show.
We'll have to calm Wayne down somehow. I'm not sure where he is. He's blowing off some steam somewhere. Great work from the team out here. Thanks to Bruce Prest from the Loft Productions, always doing a magnificent job, working very hard, improvising as always. And of course, a big thanks to Barry Kotz back in the studio. Great to have you back, mate, and great to have you back for the BGC Bayswater show. That's coming up right now with Sam, Mitch, and Seymour. But from here at Balwyn Park, an 82-point win for the Tigers. It's back to Barry and the Radio Eastern studios.
Desperately need budget-friendly windows? Visit T&B Discount Window Warehouse,